Chapter 2895. Unknowingly created history again. The World Tree is not only an independent entity but also provides strong support for itself. It is precisely because of its existence that I have been able to reach where I am now. The World Tree has become more robust, growing as the rule world grows. After entering the Tao sovereign realm, Lin Moyu's rule world has expanded significantly, and the World Tree has grown along with it. Its branches and leaves still cover the entire rule world, protecting it. The World Tree has become stronger, with greater power and more robust protection for the rule world. However, it is still in its growth phase and has not yet entered the next stage. This is a good thing, indicating that the World Tree's growth is far from its limit, with great potential to be tapped. Upon inspection, the changes in the World Tree are not particularly significant. The number of rebirths has increased to 8, with a cooldown time still at 20 seconds. But having 8 rebirth chances in 20 seconds is already more than enough. Under normal circumstances, it is impossible to die every 2 seconds. The abilities of the World Fruit have not changed, remaining the same as before. As the World Tree strengthens, the healing ability of the Spirit Flowers has also become more powerful. The Silver Tree sap has already formed a small lake, producing 1,000 drops daily, with excellent effects. Now, a small amount of Silver Tree sap can be given to the Human Emperor as a reward. It can also be supplied to Hao Yinzun and others, changing their talents, accelerating their cultivation speed, and helping them quickly enter the Tao sovereign realm. In this advancement, the biggest change for the World Tree is its leaves. Under the power of the Great Tao, a few pieces of the world have undergone anomalies. The mutation of the World Tree leaves means they will gradually become spiritual materials. Among the countless leaves of the World Tree, 6 have mutated, corresponding to my 6 great Taos. The 6 leaves are slowly mutating and will complete their transformation in a few decades, ultimately becoming excellent spiritual materials. Before Lin Moyu could check, he noticed a hint of chaotic aura on the 6 leaves.
Good fellow, you've already booked them, huh?
Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh at infinite fusion. This guy has already reserved the 6 mutated leaves and left its mark on them. It was blatantly telling Lin Moyu,
"These are mine, don't take them."
This was clearly a protective measure. If Lin Moyu really wanted to take them, it couldn't do anything, but of course, Lin Moyu wouldn't do that. Infinite fusion has helped me a lot, enduring hardships, and it deserves this. Lin Moyu approached Infinite Fusion, gently touching it.
You're very quiet during this advancement.
Infinite Fusion spun around, sending out a will.
I want to evolve.
Lin Moyu immediately asked,
Can you evolve after eating those 6 leaves?
The will of Infinite Fusion came again.
Great Tao's spiritual materials can evolve. After evolution, it can fuse spells.
Lin Moyu quickly understood. The mutated World Tree leaves had become spiritual materials, different from ordinary spiritual materials. Ordinary spiritual materials could strengthen Infinite Fusion, but couldn't evolve it. However, the spiritual materials mutated from the World Tree leaves, after absorbing the power of the Great Tao, were called Great Tao spiritual materials. After Infinite Fusion consumed them, it could evolve. After evolving, it could fuse spells. As the level of spells continued to rise, the requirements for fusion became increasingly high, and Infinite Fusion itself had to improve to complete the fusion. Returning to his senses, Lin Moyu muttered to himself,
Next, it's time to fuse the true body of the Great Tao. Then the first one will be the undying Great Tao true body.
In the small house, Lin Moyu transformed into a half-gray, half-white giant, one side representing death, the other representing life. Evolving the true body of the Great Tao with the Tao Sovereign First Realm, this had never happened in the history of the Origin Continent. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu once again created history. A Tao pattern flew out, merging with the true body of the Great Tao. The aura of the true body of the Great Tao suddenly strengthened, at least tripling in power. The amplification brought by 24 Tao patterns was astonishing. In that era, some ordinary Tao sovereigns, even at the 7th or 8th realm, only had a dozen or so Tao patterns. Lin Moyu, at the Tao sovereign first realm, had already condensed 24 Tao patterns, and it was not even the limit. No one would believe it if told. The true body of the great Tao smoothly merged with the Tao patterns, and in the future, using the Tao patterns to display the true body of the great Tao would be even stronger. Next, Lin Moyu would evolve the true bodies of the 6 great Taos and fuse them with the Tao patterns. After half a day, all 6 Tao patterns were fully integrated. At this moment, the advancement that had lasted for more than 100 years was finally completely over. Feeling the powerful strength brought by the Tao sovereign realm, he showed a satisfied expression. In the soul world, the summoning was still ongoing, and it would take some time to fill the vacancies. Pushing open the door, Lin Moyu walked out. The human emperor immediately said,
"Congratulations to the Realm Master for achieving Tao Sovereign."
Lin Moyu smiled.
"It's been over 100 years. Has anything happened?"
The human emperor replied,
"Indeed, some things have happened."
He recounted the 2 invasions by the Dragon Elephant clan, and after listening, Lin Moyu already knew what was going on. The second time the Dragon Elephant clan was inexplicably killed, it must have been done by Antares. Lin Moyu had a vague idea of how strong Antares was. Killing a few Tao sovereigns didn't require him to take action personally. Just a wisp of consciousness was enough. Moreover, neither Thunder Light nor the human emperor had discovered him. If he didn't want to be known, it would be difficult for others to find out. Lin Moyu smiled.
"Regarding this matter, I have a clear understanding. No need to worry. How is Yudao City?"
The human emperor said,
"Yudao City is fine. Everyone knows the Realm Master is breaking through to Tao Sovereign, and everyone is diligently cultivating."
Lin Moyu took out a pile of things, including various treasures, materials, world tree fruits, spirit flowers, and some silver tree sap.
"Take these things, add them to the inventory, and use them as rewards."
The human emperor naturally didn't stand on ceremony and accepted them directly. Now, Yudao City was not yet fully on track, in a state of insufficient income, and Lin Moyu's things were very useful. Lin Moyu clapped his hands.
"All right, I'll go check out the city."
Using the original spirit vein for teleportation, Lin Moyu instantly appeared outside the city. Over the years, Yudao City had become increasingly magnificent, already showing the signs of a great city. Lin Moyu walked into the city, where millions of people lived. The streets were bustling, with people coming and going, and sometimes children could be seen running around. From everyone's expressions, it was clear that everyone was happy, obviously satisfied with their current living conditions. Under the management of the human emperor, everyone could gain fairness here. There would be no conflicts or disputes due to differences in cultivation levels. Anyone who dared to cause trouble in Yudao City was courting death. Lin Moyu walked down the street, unnoticed by anyone. Lin Moyu seemed to walk in another layer of space, arriving outside the house where Little Mist and Little Moon lived. The door was closed, with no one guarding it. Lin Moyu could sense the presence of Little Mist and Little Moon. 2896 2896. Chapter 2896. Lin Moyu lectures. Fragrance fills the city. In the courtyard, Xiaoye was cultivating, while Xiaowu was playing with Xiaosan. Suddenly, Xiaowu stopped, looked up, and saw Lin Moyu had appeared in the courtyard. Xiaowu stared blankly at Lin Moyu, blinked twice, and then rushed over, clinging to Lin Moyu. She had previously said she disliked Lin Moyu, but her actions were honest. Xiaowu clung to Lin Moyu.
"Stinky master, bad master, you haven't come to see me for so long."
Lin Moyu smiled.
"Has it been long? Compared to before, it hasn't been that long, right?"
Back then, when I went to the boundary sea for the great world, it was thousands of years in the blink of an eye. Now it's only been a short while. Xiaowu wasn't listening to Lin Moyu's explanation.
"I don't care. It's been a long time anyway."
Her voice was a bit choked, clearly unhappy. Lin Moyu gently patted Xiaowu's back to comfort her.
All right, I'm back now."
Xiaoye also awoke from her cultivation, immediately stood up, and ran to Lin Moyu, respectfully saluting.
"Congratulations, master, on breaking through to the Tao sovereign realm."
After many years, Xiaoya had become mature and gentle. She had transformed from a little girl into a rare beauty. Her cultivation had reached the God-sovereign realm, not far from the other shore realm. It was evident that Xiaoya was diligent in her cultivation and hadn't been lazy. Lin Moyu had already learned about Xiaoya's cultivation from the human emperor. In just a few hundred years, she was close to reaching the other shore, a cultivation speed not much different from Lin Moyu's back in the day. Lin Moyu smiled.
Xiaoya is very diligent. Her cultivation speed is quite fast.
Xiaoya said.
Xiaoya's achievements today are all thanks to Master.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I feel a bit guilty as your master. We've been apart more than together over the years, and I haven't been able to teach you much.
Xiaoya shook her head.
Master led me to the door. Cultivation is personal. Master has already given Xiaoya so much.
Xiaoya's understanding was extraordinary, and Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh that he was indeed an unqualified master. Lin Moyu said,
In the coming period, I plan to give you a good lecture on the Tao.
Xiaoya's eyes lit up, and she exclaimed happily,
Thank you, Master.
Xiaoya, with her innate jade soul, grasped the path of cultivation instantly. She had already understood all ordinary cultivation methods, and as Lin Moyu's disciple, the human emperor's cultivation resources were unconditionally open to her. Lin Moyu had instructed that Xiaoya should not be restricted in information. On the contrary, she should know every stage of cultivation, and she would adjust herself. This was the benefit of an innate jade soul, with comprehension far beyond ordinary people. Lin Moyu intended to teach Xiaoya the true great Tao, his understanding of the Tao, not just one specific Tao. Ultimately, which Tao Xiaoya would comprehend and what path she would take. Lin Moyu wouldn't interfere. Additionally, he would teach Xiaoya the Tao of the heavenly thunder Taoist, including the Tao of formations within it. This was something Lin Moyu had promised the heavenly thunder Taoist. He hoped Xiaoya could inherit his Tao. Xiaowu suddenly raised her head.
Master, I want to listen too.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Did I ever say you couldn't listen?
His gaze swept over, seeing Xiaosan nearby. Xiaosan obediently lay there, its mouse eyes looking at Lin Moyu, with a flattering gleam. Lin Moyu understood Xiaosan's meaning.
You've done well over the years.
Over the years, Xiaosan had found a source spirit vein outside. That source spirit vein had just formed, likely at the 5th level, and Xiaosan had stumbled upon it. Then Xiaosan used its talent to refine and bring back the source spirit vein, feeding it to the source spirit vein of Yudao City. This increased Yudao City's source spirit vein by 30%. If a few more could be fed, Yudao City's source spirit vein might advance to the 8th level. Refining the source spirit vein was Xiaosan's talent, but each time it refined, it paid a price. After this refinement, it took Xiaosan a long time to barely recover. Lin Moyu said,
Next time you find a source spirit vein, keep 10% for yourself.
As he spoke, he waved and sent a ball of life force into Xiaosan. The life force carried abundant vitality, helping Xiaosan recover quickly. Hearing this, Xiaosan's eyes lit up, bowing repeatedly in thanks.
Thank you, Master. Xiaosan will definitely work hard to find source spirit veins.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment and threw 2 spirit flowers to Xiaosan, along with a bottle of silver tree sap. A bottle of silver tree sap contained about 1,000 drops, enough for a while.
Spirit flowers are for saving your life. If you're injured, you can use them to heal. Drink 1 drop of tree sap daily. Refine it well. It can speed up your cultivation.
Xiaosan happily put them away, knowing that anything Lin Moyu took out was surely good. Lin Moyu took out 2 more bottles of silver tree sap for Xiaoya and Xiaowu.
You too, take 1 drop daily while I lecture.
Xiaoya happily accepted.
Thank you, Master.
Xiaowu accepted the silver tree sap, but clearly didn't want to come down yet. She hadn't hung on for so long and wanted to hang a bit longer. Moments later, Lin Moyu sat cross-legged and began to lecture. Xiaoya and Xiaowu listened intently. Even Xiaosan, at the Tao Sovereign Third Realm, listened seriously. Others' lectures he could ignore, But Lin Moyu was different. He felt that Lin Moyu's teachings were useful to him. Spirit beasts typically rely on bloodline talent for cultivation and rarely listen to lectures. Lin Moyu spoke with golden lotuses flowing from his mouth, each word a profound truth of the Tao. Initially hard to understand, mysterious and obscure, but upon careful listening, they were profound truths of the Tao. The power of the great Tao surged. The source spirit vein hummed, resonating with Lin Moyu's voice. In the small courtyard, the power of the great Tao became extremely dense. Golden flowers appeared on the ground, filling the entire courtyard with fragrance. The fragrance wafted out of the courtyard, gradually filling the entire Yudao city. Everyone in Yudao city smelled the fragrance, each showing surprise.
What a wonderful fragrance! What flower smells so good? This fragrance is strange. After smelling it, my cultivation realm is about to break through. Quick, find out where the fragrance is coming from. If smelling it has this effect, imagine obtaining the flower.
After several days, people finally gave up searching. In the following period, Yudao City remained enveloped in fragrance, and many cultivators who were stuck in bottlenecks broke through during this time. People often sat down suddenly and began to break through while walking. In the city, only a few knew the source of the fragrance. Hao Yinzun and others wanted to listen to Lin Moyu's lecture, but unfortunately, this lecture was specifically for Xiaoye, and others had no chance to hear it. Above the boundary sea where East Continent and North Continent meet, a small, transparent, and adorable beast was flying rapidly. Its flying speed was fast, already reaching the Tao sovereign realm. However, the aura it emitted was very weak, not even reaching the supreme realm. Its eyes were determined, flying quickly towards East Continent. 2897. Catastrophe Chapter 2897. I Can Kill You. Lin Moyu lectured Xiaoye and Xiaowu on the Tao for several decades. During the lecture, Lin Moyu multitasked, simultaneously condensing Tao patterns and studying formations. Multitasking had become a habit for Lin Moyu, posing no pressure. He was doing 3 things at once without interference. Xiaoye was deeply engrossed in the lecture, and although Lin Moyu wasn't teaching cultivation methods, it greatly benefited her. In just a few decades, Xiaoye's cultivation level soared, progressing daily. She was nearing the peak of the God-sovereign realm, just a step away from the other shore realm. Xiaowu was initially attentive, but after a while, she started to lose focus. Cultivation wasn't something Xiaowu enjoyed, but with Xiaoye and Shaoxin focused on the lecture, she had no one to play with. She could only entertain herself, alternating between play and listening. As a spirit weapon, Xiaowu had heard countless lectures over the years, and this accumulation became her asset. Even without paying much attention, Xiaowu's cultivation level increased, an advantage of her unique nature. The condensation of the 25th Tao pattern was slow, taking Lin Moyu 80 years to complete. He then began condensing the 26th Tao pattern, even slower, likely taking over 100 years. Fortunately, time wasn't doubled. Advancing to the Tao sovereign realm greatly aided in condensing Tao patterns. In the 100th year of lecturing, Lin Moyu suddenly looked into the distance and stopped. Though he stopped lecturing, the Tao resonance lingered, and Xiaoye and Shaoxin remained immersed. Only Xiaowu looked puzzled.
Master, why did you stop?
Lin Moyu said,
Xiaoye is close to the other shore realm. This lecture is sufficient. More wouldn't be beneficial.
Xiaowu responded,
So, will you help Xiaoye cross to the other shore? Let Xiaoye comprehend it herself. Crossing to the other shore is best understood personally.
As Lin Moyu spoke, his gaze remained fixed on the distance, his brow slightly furrowed. Xiaowu noticed Lin Moyu's unusual demeanor.
Master, is something wrong?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Indeed, something's up. Stay with Xiaoye. I need to handle it.
Xiaowu replied,
Come back soon.
Lin Moyu acknowledged and disappeared instantly, using the origin spirit vein to teleport away. He teleported tens of thousands of kilometers, then spread his undead wings and flew rapidly forward. Lin Moyu's gaze was fixed ahead, seeing a line of causality extending from afar, entwining him.
A line of causality? Why is there a line of causality on me?
Puzzled, Lin Moyu knew causality lines didn't appear easily. Their appearance meant significant connection. He couldn't figure out who was on the other end, so he decided to investigate. If it was an enemy, he wouldn't let it affect Yudao City. If a battle was necessary, it would be resolved outside. As he flew, Lin Moyu's brow furrowed, sensing a peculiar aura. The aura was special yet familiar. After a moment's thought, Lin Moyu realized.
Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast.
The beast that once called him
Father.
In the Soul Spirit Realm's ruins, Lin Moyu accelerated, crossing tens of thousands of miles, finally reaching the end of the causality line. A strong Great Tao force greeted him. Someone was fighting, and they were all Tao sovereigns. Seeing the situation, Lin Moyu found it chaotic. Humans, demons, and insects. 3 parties were engaged in a fierce melee. In the center, the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast was trembling. Lin Moyu immediately recognized the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast as the one that called him
Father.
Years ago, though it had grown, Lin Moyu couldn't mistake it. Because he had caused its birth, it called him
Father.
Creating an unbreakable bond. Back then, he thought that if he reached the origin continent, it might guide him. But things changed, and he never saw it again. Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts were unique, belonging to the spirit food category, typically residing in the North Continent, never seen in the East Continent. Its presence in the East Continent was strange. Lin Moyu's heart trembled.
Could it be looking for me?
Recalling the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast's traits, Lin Moyu thought it possible. Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts were special, existing between reality and illusion, with 2 innate abilities. One was soul power, similar to the Soul Great Tao, possessed by most Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts. The other was causality power, rare among them, activated under specific conditions. All races coveted Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts for their causality power. They hunted them, seeking traces of the causality Great Tao in their bloodline. The causality Great Tao, an illusory and powerful Tao, granted immense benefits once mastered. Thus, life for Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts in the North Continent wasn't easy, often hunted. With this in mind, the situation became clear. The Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast sensed him and came from the North Continent to find him. It was discovered by demons, humans, and insects, sparking a battle as all 3 wanted to capture it. This explained why the battle didn't affect the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast. Its aura was weak, clearly injured, and Lin Moyu sensed it had reached the Tao Sovereign Realm. Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts weren't known for combat, clearly outmatched by these opponents. But it wasn't in danger. They wanted to capture, not kill it. Lin Moyu flew closer, and the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast sensed his aura, looking his way. Seeing Lin Moyu, it let out a weak cry.
Father!
The cry was tinged with joy. Seeing Lin Moyu, the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast was visibly happy. Its voice reached Lin Moyu's ears, and he sighed.
You've been through a lot.
Those present had noticed Lin Moyu long ago, but as a Tao sovereign first realm, he didn't warrant their attention. Among the 6 demon Tao sovereigns, 3 were third realm, and 2 were second realm. The humans had 7 Tao sovereigns, for third realm and 3 second realm. The insects had 2 insect mothers, both third realm in battle form extremely powerful. Each insect mother could fight multiple Tao sovereigns of the same realm without falling behind. The 3 parties were locked in a chaotic battle, unwilling to yield. The Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast's cry of
Father
left the 3 parties momentarily stunned. The cry was directed at Lin Moyu, a Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast calling a human.
Father
Was an odd sight. Lin Moyu flew over, becoming a 4th party, smiling.
Everyone, this little beast is mine. Can you let it go?
The human and demon Tao sovereigns wore strange expressions. Though they said nothing, it was clear they wouldn't let it go. An insect mother screeched, its piercing cry turning into a voice.
Why should we?
Lin Moyu sighed.
Because I can kill you.
2898 2898. Chapter 2898. We are all human, we should help each other. The insect mother let out a sharp laugh, more piercing than before. A human Tao sovereign first realm guy claimed he could kill her. The insect mother's ultimate battle form was considered invincible among the same realm. Only the dragon race could contend with it. Not only was the insect mother laughing, but the demon race was also laughing, and the human Tao sovereigns looked at Lin Moyu with strange expressions, clearly speechless. Before the insect mother could finish laughing, Lin Moyu casually pointed. There was no smoke or fire, no surge of the great Tao. The space where the insect mother was located twisted, and the bone hell suddenly appeared, enveloping the two insect mothers. The insect mothers reacted quickly, sensing danger. They screamed and attacked, trying to tear apart the bone hell and escape. But it was too late. Although their combat power was strong and invincible in the same realm, tearing apart the bone hell was still as difficult as ascending to heaven. The eye of hell opened, and a vast soul impact swept over the two insect mothers. Although it couldn't truly injure them, it was enough to make them feel soul pain. The insect mothers let out piercing screams, resisting the soul agony. Boom! Lava erupted, shooting into the sky like a fountain, trying to engulf the two insect mothers in the lava river. The insect mothers struggled madly, bursting out of the lava. Their strength was immense, their limbs like blades, cutting through the lava. The otherworldly flower swayed, scattering purple brilliance, greatly weakening the aura. Countless hellish fiends rushed out from the lava river, pouncing on the insect mothers. The insect mothers swung their sharp blades, slicing all the approaching hellish fiends. But the hellish fiends were not afraid of injury, nor of being slain. They madly swarmed from all directions. The insect mothers screamed continuously, frantically repelling the hellish fiends. The underworld black pool let out a loud noise, and the emerging underworld dragon opened its mouth to suck. The insect mothers were uncontrollably drawn towards it. They tried to resist the suction, but the hellish fiends pounced on them, biting down. With a single bite, the insect mother's carapace shattered, a piece of flesh torn away. The insect mothers screamed continuously, unleashing immense power to repel the hellish fiends. But then, the suction of the underworld black dragon intensified, and they were sucked into its mouth. Crunch! A teeth-gritting sound echoed, and the insect mother was directly bitten to pieces by the black dragon. The insect mother's carapace was very sturdy, but it couldn't withstand a bite from the black dragon. The black dragon had the same attributes as the hellish fiends, eating anything, biting anything. Although the insect mother was bitten to pieces, she wasn't dead, still screaming incessantly in the black dragon's mouth. She struggled madly, but to no avail, unable to escape. Crunch! Crunch! After 2 or 3 bites, the insect mother was completely crushed and died. The entire process was extremely painful and tragic for the insect mother. The other insect mother, after a struggle, was finally surrounded by hellish fiends and dragged into the lava river. She floated and sank in the river, screaming incessantly, but she too couldn't escape her destined fate. She suffered more than her companion. Each bite from the hellish fiends brought her immense pain. Thus, she was torn apart by the hellish fiends. The demon and human Tao sovereigns watched with their hair standing on end, a chill running down their spines, feeling indescribable. Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
So, do any of you still want to compete with me?
The demon Tao sovereigns looked conflicted, exchanged glances, and whispered,
Let's go.
The Tao sovereigns turned and left without hesitation. Lin Moyu's ability to easily kill 2 insect mothers meant his combat power surpassed theirs. And with human Tao sovereigns present, staying would only lead to their own deaths. The demon Tao sovereigns weren't fools. During the 3-way melee, there might have been a chance. But now, the once dominant insect race was wiped out in a few moves, So what's the point of fighting? They didn't know when the human race produced such a monstrously powerful Dao Sovereign, only at the Dao Sovereign First Realm, killing insect mothers as easily as cutting vegetables. The demon race left decisively and quickly, disappearing in an instant. The human Dao Sovereigns didn't pursue. It's hard to catch a fleeing Dao Sovereign. Lin Moyu had the ability to keep them all, but there was no need. In other words, he was too lazy to kill. Lin Moyu approached the soul spirit ancestor beast, which affectionately rubbed against him. This creature was 3 meters tall, its head alone as big as half of Lin Moyu. Now, lowering its head to nuzzle him, it seemed so soft and cute. Lin Moyu's first thought was that Xiaoye and Xiaowu would definitely like this guy.
Father!
The soul spirit ancestor beast called softly, its voice gentle, even pleasant. Lin Moyu took out a spirit flower.
Don't move, let me heal you.
Although his power of life could also heal, it wasn't as effective as the spirit flower. And he could see that the soul spirit ancestor beast was indeed badly injured. Its soul also hurt, and it had been some time, so healing with the power of life would take effort. The spirit flower bloomed, enveloping the soul spirit ancestor beast. Lin Moyu then looked at the human Dao Sovereigns.
Fellow Taoists, there's no problem with me taking this soul spirit ancestor beast, right?
How could there be a problem? Someone who could wipe out 2 Dao Sovereign Third Realm insect mothers with a wave of a hand wasn't someone they wanted to provoke. Even if they could win, it would likely cost lives, and none of them wanted to die. The soul spirit ancestor beast was good, but you need to be alive to enjoy it. Moreover, no one could guarantee that obtaining the soul spirit ancestor beast would lead to comprehending the causality Great Tao. Risking their lives for a mere possibility, these Tao sovereigns weren't foolish. They all had similar thoughts, immediately putting on smiles.
No problem, no problem. Since the soul spirit ancestor beast belongs to you, you should take it.
Lin Moyu nodded and smiled.
Thank you, fellow Taoists.
They immediately replied,
You're welcome, you're welcome. We're all human, we should help each other.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Here are a few leaves as compensation from me.
Lin Moyu gave them a few world tree leaves, and they recognized them at a glance as excellent crafting materials. Containing the power of the Great Tao, they were Tao Sovereign Realm materials quite valuable. Although they lost the soul spirit ancestor beast, this gain wasn't bad. One Tao Sovereign smiled.
Lin Taoist is truly generous. We're from the Luo family in Tianning City, South Continent. If you have time, please visit us. Our peach blossom wine is quite good.
Lin Moyu said.
Sure, I'll visit when I have the chance.
As he spoke, Lin Moyu suddenly turned his head, looking to the other side, and said lightly,
The demon race is still unwilling to give up.
They were slightly stunned, not knowing what Lin Moyu was talking about. A few seconds later, they suddenly sensed a powerful aura shooting from afar. Dark clouds gathered in the distance, the Great Tao faintly visible, 10 giant pythons carrying clouds and wind howling towards them. The faces of the Luo family's Tao sovereigns changed.
A true body of the Great Tao, at least a Tao Sovereign Fourth Realm expert.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
It's a Tao Sovereign Fifth Realm.
The space beside him twisted slightly, and the giant sword Tao Sovereign appeared, also manifesting a true body of the Great Tao, transforming into a giant sword and flying out. The giant sword Tao Sovereign moved swiftly, killing in an instant, giving the demon Tao Sovereign no chance to retaliate. In a flash, the giant sword Tao Sovereign returned. The dark clouds dispersed, and a giant python's body fell from the sky. 2899 2899. Chapter 2899. Xiao Wu's talent, the fruit planted. The sudden appearance of the giant sword Tao Sovereign was unexpected. The Tao Sovereigns from the Luo family were relieved, grateful they hadn't acted, or they would have been dead. Who knows how this terrifying Tao Sovereign Sixth Realm appeared, but he did. After killing the demon Tao Sovereign, the giant sword Tao Sovereign quickly returned, standing silently behind Lin Moyu, like a servant. The Luo family couldn't help but speculate about Lin Moyu's identity. wondering what kind of person could have a Tao sovereign's sixth realm as a servant. Lin Moyu's gaze was gentle.
Fellow Taoists, do you have any other business?
The group understood that Lin Moyu was issuing a polite dismissal, so they quickly bid farewell and left without hesitation. Lin Moyu didn't watch them leave but looked further away. Thousands of kilometers away, several demon Tao sovereigns were retreating. These were the same demon Tao sovereigns who had left earlier, but they hadn't truly departed. Now, seeing their own Tao sovereign fifth realm expert being decisively killed, they were all shocked and fled. Lin Moyu couldn't be bothered with them. If they dared to come, he would kill them one by one. The spirit flower was healing the soul spirit ancestor beast, and as the flower shrank, the beast's aura quickly stabilized, likely to recover soon. After half a day, the spirit flower vanished, and the soul spirit ancestor beast was fully healed.
Father!
The soul spirit ancestor beast joyfully exclaimed, rubbing its big head against Lin Moyu, like a spiritual beast version of a kitten. Lin Moyu patted its head.
How did you get here?
The soul spirit ancestor beast was at the Tao sovereign first realm, not weak, but its racial traits meant it wasn't strong in combat. The Tao sovereign first realm allowed it to cross the boundary sea, but it was still dangerous. The soul spirit ancestor beast's voice was soft and cute.
I sensed Father's aura, so I came.
Lin Moyu asked.
You encountered many dangers on the way, right?
The soul spirit ancestor beast replied firmly.
There were dangers, but it didn't matter. I was sure I could see Father. Once I saw Father, there'd be no more danger.
Lin Moyu asked curiously.
Why are you so sure?
The soul spirit ancestor beast said.
My bloodline ability told me I would definitely see Father, and there would be no trouble.
Lin Moyu pondered and smiled slightly.
Let's go home first, and you can tell me everything that happened on your way back to the North Continent.
Hearing the word
home,
the soul spirit ancestor beast's eyes lit up.
Okay, let's go home.
The man and the beast flew towards Yudao City, not too fast, and along the way, the soul spirit ancestor beast recounted its experiences. The soul spirit ancestor beast is a unique spiritual beast, peculiar in its bloodline, heritage, and racial structure. There aren't many soul spirit ancestor beasts, with fewer than 1,000 in the North Continent. These 1,000 soul spirit ancestor beasts are divided into over 100 small tribes, each with no more than 10, and some as few as 3 or 4. This soul spirit ancestor beast's name is Soul 5, also known as Xiao Wu. It's the smallest in its tribe, which has only 5 soul spirit ancestor beasts. Xiao Wu was once a totem of a boundary sea world, also called the Soul Spirit Realm. Later, the Soul Spirit Realm engaged in a world battle with the Great World and was destroyed. At the last moment, Xiao Wu was summoned into the Soul Spirit Realm. The Soul Spirit Realm couldn't escape destruction, but because of Xiao Wu, a fragment of space remained. Xiao Wu also left behind a remnant soul. Before dying, Xiao Wu used its bloodline power to plant a fruit. Lin Moyu later entered the Soul Spirit Realm, becoming the cause of Xiao Wu's planted fruit. Xiao Wu was resurrected and returned to the North Continent. The price was losing its previous memories and seeing Lin Moyu as its father. This is the causality Great Tao, quite unreasonable. The most terrifying aspect of the causality Great Tao is not knowing cause and effect but planting a fruit that inevitably leads to a cause. The planted fruit will inevitably come true, and the cause becomes a price. Xiao Wu's price was losing its memory and gaining a human father. After returning to the North Continent, Xiao Wu also returned to its tribe. This power quickly recovered, soon becoming a Tao sovereign again. Xiao Wu was originally a Tao sovereign, but its power was suppressed when it descended into the Soul Spirit Realm. This time, Lin Moyu's advancement to Tao sovereign resonated with the Great Tao, allowing Xiao Wu to sense Lin Moyu's location and rush over. On the way, Xiao Wu indeed faced many hardships. While crossing the boundary sea, it was hunted by some sea tribes. Fortunately, it had planted a fruit before setting out, ensuring it would see Lin Moyu, so it ignored everything else, charging forward regardless of who tried to kill it. It suffered serious injuries but eventually reached the North Continent. Then it was targeted by the demon race, and the human race discovered it, leading to a battle as Xiao Wu continued its journey. Until the insect race arrived, Xiao Wu was surrounded by 3 parties with nowhere to go. But it was unafraid, sensing Lin Moyu, knowing its planted fruit had come true. This causal journey's final fruit was meeting Lin Moyu, with the soul injury and severe wounds as the cause. If Lin Moyu had no means to heal it, the soul injury would be difficult to treat. If not handled well, its realm could fall.
You're quite daring.
Xiao Wu shook its head.
Daring doesn't matter as long as I see Father.
Lin Moyu asked.
If you saw me and I couldn't heal you, would you plant another fruit?
Xiao Wu said.
Fruits can't be planted randomly. My bloodline ability is limited, and not every fruit can succeed. I can only plant 1 fruit every 100 years.
Lin Moyu asked.
What are the specific limitations?
Xiao Wu shook its head.
I don't know. Only when planting a fruit will I know if it works. If the fruit exceeds my ability too much, it won't succeed, and will suffer backlash.
That makes sense. There must be limitations or the causality Great Tao would be too domineering. Fruits can't be planted randomly. Exceeding one's ability leads to backlash. Xiao Wu can only plant 1 fruit every 100 years, regardless of success, and must wait another 100 years. There's another limitation. If the fruit is too distant, it can't plant a new one until the causal chain is complete. Only after a causal chain ends and 100 years pass can a new one be planted. There are many limitations which Lin Moyu understands. Though soul spirit ancestor beasts have the causality Great Tao talent, they only know how to use it, not the underlying reasons, which is a limitation of spiritual beasts. The Great Tao is fair, giving spiritual beasts enough talent but preventing them from enhancing it. Talent is both an advantage and a disadvantage. 2900 Chapter 2900. Fortunately, I didn't ride Xiao Wu back. Yudao City was in sight, and Lin Moyu released a surge of Great Tao power, which landed on the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast. The Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast did not resist at all, having no guard against Lin Moyu, who it saw as the closest person. This was the result of a cause planted long ago. The power of the Great Tao gave it this idea from the deepest part of its soul. The Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast was enveloped by an invisible force, following Lin Moyu into Yudao City. In Yudao City, people came and went, but no one noticed them. Except for the human emperor, no one knew Lin Moyu had returned. It wasn't until Lin Moyu returned to his courtyard that he revealed himself.
Wow, Master is back.
Xiao Wu was about to pounce as usual when she suddenly saw the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast beside Lin Moyu. The white, misty, and cute Xiao Wu immediately caught Xiao Wu's eye. Without thinking, Xiao Wu abandoned the old for the new and pounced on Xiao Wu.
What a cute beast!
Xiao Wu exclaimed, hugging Xiao Wu tightly. The Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast was 3 meters tall, and Xiao Wu looked petite and delicate clinging to it. Lin Moyu had already told Xiao Wu about the madwoman Xiao Wu, so Xiao Wu wasn't alarmed and let Xiao Wu hug her. Xiaoya smiled sweetly at Lin Moyu.
Master, you're back. I'll make tea for you.
Obedient Xiaoya was a stark contrast to the madwoman Xiao Wu. Xiaoya quickly made tea, constantly absorbing and digesting the Tao Lin Moyu had taught. She was not far from the other shore realm, needing just a little more to reach it. After making tea and letting Lin Moyu sit down, Xiaoya asked,
Master, who is this?
Lin Moyu replied,
This is Xiao Wu.
Xiaoya acknowledged and turned to greet Xiao Wu.
So you're Xiao Wu. Hello, I'm Xiaoya.
Xiao Er stood by, staring at Xiao Wu without blinking, muttering,
Isn't this the Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast? Such a rare Soul Spirit Ancestor Beast following Master back. My master is truly amazing.
Through its bloodline heritage, it recognized Xiao Wu's true identity. Soul Spirit Ancestor Beasts are extremely rare, and once they appear, countless people rush to capture them. But Lin Moyu didn't need to capture it. It followed him directly. Xiao Wu continued to cling to Xiao Wu, jumping up and down, happily exclaiming,
"So you're Xiao Wu. I'm Xi Wu. You can call me Mississippi. If anyone bullies you, just say my name, and I'll avenge you."
Lin Moyu laughed.
"With your level of punching babies and kicking grandmothers, don't say that out loud."
Xiao Wu protested.
"Master, you're undermining me."
Lin Moyu said,
"I'm just telling the truth. A peak heavenly sovereign with combat skills probably not even matching an ordinary heavenly sovereign. It's embarrassing."
Xiao Wu stuck out her tongue at Lin Moyu, indicating she wouldn't pay attention to him. Xiao Wu suddenly spoke, her voice still soft and cute.
"Father, I want to change my appearance."
Lin Moyu nodded.
"Go ahead."
Xiao Wu agreed, and the mist around her began to change. Gradually, she became shorter, eventually becoming as tall as Xiaoya. The mist gained color, turning into a pink long dress. When the mist completely dissipated, Xiao Wu's true form was revealed. Lin Moyu's hand holding the teacup paused.
"Xiao Wu, you're a girl."
Xiao Wu nodded.
"I was originally a girl."
Lin Moyu's mouth twitched. He never expected Xiao Wu to be a girl. No wonder her voice was so soft and cute. Fortunately, he hadn't ridden Xiao Wu back earlier. Knowing Xiao Wu was a girl, Xiao Wu became even more excited.
"Wow, Xiao Wu is so pretty."
She seemed ready to kiss her at any moment. Xiao Wu's voice was soft, filled with a smile.
"Sister Xiao Wu is the pretty one."
Lin Moyu asked.
"Xiao Wu, now that you're here, what do you plan to do?"
Xiao Wu shook her head, indicating uncertainty.
"I just want to be with father. Haven't thought about anything else."
Lin Moyu said.
"All right, then stay with Xiao Wu and the others. Let Xiao Wu show you around Yudao City, and live here from now on."
Xiao Wu was obedient and had no objections. Xiao Wu grabbed Xiao Wu with one hand and Xiaoya with the other.
"Let's go play outside."
No matter when the word
"Play"
was always on Xiao Wu's lips. Lin Moyu also smiled.
"Go play, get used to it."
With Lin Moyu's permission, Xiao Wu left with Xiao Wu and Xiaoya. Although Xiao Wu seemed a bit naive, she was much more stable than Xiao Wu. It was clear that Xiao Wu was a bit cautious and delicate. Wherever she appeared, people treated her as a treasure, not a cherished treasure, but a valuable one. Everyone wanted to study her, to gain the causality Great Tao through her bloodline. But Lin Moyu had no such thoughts. Not only Lin Moyu, but Xiaoya and Xiao Wu were also full of goodwill towards her. Xiao Wu introduced Yudao City to Xiao Wu along the way, letting her know that Yudao City was Lin Moyu's city, and Lin Moyu was its master. After they left, Xiao Sen finally spoke.
"Master, that's a soul spirit ancestor beast."
Lin Moyu nodded.
"Yes, it is. Soul spirit ancestor beast, countless people want it, and Master got it."
Xiao Sen marveled, finding it incredible. Lin Moyu glanced at it.
"Aren't you the same? Countless people want you, to study your bloodline."
Xiao Sen chuckled.
"That's why Master is the best."
Lin Moyu said.
"Xiao Wu calls me father, so I'll treat her as my daughter. You're not allowed to bully her."
Xiao Sen quickly shook its head.
"I wouldn't dare. If I bullied Xiao Wu, Xiaoya and Xiao Wu wouldn't let me off."
Lin Moyu smiled.
"Honestly, I'm not interested in Xiao Wu's bloodline, but I am interested in the causality Great Tao."
Xiao Sen said.
"The causality Great Tao is mysterious. Countless people want to comprehend it but can't find the way. In my bloodline memory, no one has ever comprehended the causality Great Tao."
Lin Moyu was taken aback.
"No one?"
Xiao Sen nodded.
"That's right, no one."
Xiao San's bloodline was ancient, and if even its bloodline had no record, then perhaps no one really had. Lin Moyu thought of something, taking out a gourd, the causality gourd. The causality gourd was a treasure of the causality Great Tao. If no one had comprehended the causality Great Tao, how could this treasure exist? It could only mean that someone in the great world had once comprehended the causality Great Tao, which should have been called the causality law at the time. Even in the origin continent, where few could comprehend the causality Great Tao, someone in the Great World could. This indicated that the Great World had extraordinary depth. Tracing back, the Sea of Worlds was collectively called the Origin World, originating from an origin ancestral land, of which the Great World was a part. Lin Moyu had seen many Sea of Worlds and personally destroyed and refined them, knowing that each world had great differences. Not in terms of level differences, but even at the same level, there were significant differences. The Great World was very powerful among the Sea of Worlds of the same level. This showed that the Great World was already very strong in the Origin World state with deep foundations. Lin Moyu didn't know how the Origin World came to be, but he believed it had an origin and didn't come from nowhere. This question might only be understood when he entered that origin ancestral land. 2901-2901, Chapter 2901. Do not comprehend the seventh great Tao. Lin Moyu had now become a Tao sovereign and was also the son of the moon. According to the three ancestors, when the origin ancestral land opens, he will surely have a spot. As for when it will open, no one knows, so he can only wait. Since that's the case, Lin Moyu isn't in a hurry and is content to wait. Shaosan was still diligently searching through its bloodline memories. Unlike the human emperor, who had all the information sorted and could access it any time, Shaosan could only find relevant parts when it actively searched. Under normal circumstances, these memories wouldn't surface. The difference between the two was significant. Lin Moyu didn't know what it was searching for, but seeing Shaosan's flushed appearance, it seemed to be having a hard time. Lin Moyu leisurely drank tea, watching the flushed Shaosan. Shaosan's appearance was somewhat amusing, like it was constipated. After a moment, with a soft pop, a cloud of blood mist exploded. Shaosan was covered in blood, turning into a blood rat. At this moment, Shaosan's state was strange. Its aura much weaker than before, clearly injured. Searching its bloodline memories to the point of injuring itself was quite unique. Lin Moyu enveloped Shaosan with a surge of life force and asked,
"What are you doing?"
Shaosan replied,
"Searching my bloodline memories. Master, you have 6 great Taos, and there seems to be some related memories in my bloodline."
Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow.
"Did you find them?"
Shaosan said,
"I did."
Under the healing power of life, Shaosan's injuries quickly recovered. Xiao Air jumped to Lin Moyu's side, poured itself a cup of tea, and drank it in one gulp. After drinking 3 cups, it exhaled.
"Master, you shouldn't comprehend the causality great Tao anymore."
Lin Moyu looked at Shaosan, signaling it to continue. Shaosan continued,
"The more great Taos you comprehend, the harder it becomes to cultivate, and the slower the progress. The ancient cultivation method seems to require condensing Tao patterns. The more great Taos, the more Tao patterns you can condense, but it takes more time. In the memories, there's a limit to the number of great Taos one can comprehend, and that limit is 6. Once you exceed 6 great Taos, you'll be suppressed by the power of the great Tao, and your cultivation speed will decrease by at least 100-fold. It seems the great Tao doesn't allow anyone too defined to appear, so it suppresses them."
Shaosan shared all the memories it found, sounding mysterious yet somewhat reasonable. After listening, Lin Moyu pondered,
"Is there no way to break this?"
Shaosan shook its head.
"There's nothing in the bloodline memories. There was once a top genius. My ancestors recognized him as their master, believing he could not only step into the great Tao but also become a Tao master. One person achieving the Tao would elevate the entire clan, allowing them to enter the great Tao and gain immortality. This way, the entire race would benefit. But when he reached Tao's sovereign 6th realm, he comprehended the 7th great Tao. Since then, he was stuck in Tao's sovereign 6th realm, unable to advance. He finally told my ancestors, 'Do not comprehend the 7th great Tao, or the great Tao will punish you.' Master, you must take this seriously and not comprehend the 7th great Tao."
Shaosan spoke earnestly, and Lin Moyu naturally took it seriously. Lin Moyu pondered,
"I believe nothing is absolute. For every defiant act, there's a way to break it. Even if the great Tao imposes punishment, there must be a way to break it, a glimmer of hope. But rest assured, I won't comprehend the seventh great Tao until I find a way to break it. 6 great Taos are enough for now. Perhaps one day, when I become a Tao master, I can elevate you all.
Xiaosan immediately knelt before Lin Moyu, flattering.
Then Xiaosan will cling tightly to Master's leg, going wherever Master points, with no disloyalty.
Lin Moyu smiled at Xiaosan.
You're quite realistic.
Xiaosan shamelessly said.
A wise person knows when to adapt. A smart mouse like Xiaosan knows what to do.
Lin Moyu said.
With this lecture, you should be close to advancing, right?
Xiaosan nodded its mouse head.
Yes, probably in a year or two, I'll advance to Tao's sovereign fourth realm. Master's lecture was too useful. Otherwise, it would take at least 1,000 years to advance.
Lin Moyu said.
After reaching Tao's sovereign fourth realm, go out and find the origin spirit veins to help enhance Yudao City's spirit veins. When you reach Tao's sovereign fourth realm, I'll give you a gift.
Xiaosan nodded.
Rest assured, Master, Xiaosan will do its best.
While drinking tea, Lin Moyu communicated with the human emperor.
Human Emperor, what do you think about Xiaosan's story?
The human emperor said.
There's no relevant record in the current data.
Lin Moyu knew Xiaosan's story was likely ancient. The devouring heaven mouse race had existed since prehistoric times, and its bloodline memories had been passed down. So Xiaosan's story likely happened in prehistoric times, and the human emperor wouldn't have this information. Lin Moyu thought to himself.
Maybe I can ask the 3 ancestors, but I can't ask directly. I have to be subtle. The 3 ancestors are shrewd and not easy to deal with. Xiaosan's story must be taken seriously, and until a solution is found, I can't comprehend a new great Tao.
Xiaowu and Xiaowu spent half a day in Yudao City, buying a bunch of snacks and returning. When they ran in, Xiaowu's mouth was stuffed with snacks, and Xiaowu's mouth was too, though Xiaoya had none, but it was evident she had just eaten and hadn't wiped clean. Seeing Xiaowu's smiling face, Lin Moyu knew they had a good time. In the following days, Xiaowu became familiar with the others and was no longer reserved. 5 days later, Lin Moyu said to Xiaowu.
Xiaowu, can you show the causality great Tao?
Xiaowu thought for a moment.
In our bloodline, it's not called the causality great Tao. It's called planting the fruit to get the cause.
Lin Moyu asked.
You can't plant the fruit now, so you can't show its ability, right?
Xiaowu said.
It's not entirely impossible. Let me try.
Lin Moyu said.
Don't force it.
Xiaowu shook her head.
It's not forcing.
She raised her hand, palm up, and a faint light appeared in her palm. The light flickered like a flame, and a peculiar great Tao aura emanated from it. Xiaowu explained.
This is the precursor to the fruit, which we call the fruit fire. Xiaowu can only do this step now and can't truly plant the fruit.
Lin Moyu sensed the aura of the fruit fire and said after a moment.
Xiaowu, that's enough.
Xiaowu immediately withdrew the fruit fire, her face pale, clearly having used a lot of energy just now. But she still said,
Father, do you want to try again?
Lin Moyu waved his hand.
No need, that's enough. Go play.
2902 2902, Chapter 2902. How could it only take a year? In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed since Xiao Wu arrived in Yudao City. Xiao Wu had come to like Yudao City, playing happily every day with Xiao Wu and Xiaoya. Xiao Wu was more stable than Xiao Wu and would practice with Xiaoya every day. She was very serious during practice and wouldn't leave even if Xiao Wu called her to play. Xiaoya was continually absorbing Lin Moyu's teachings, progressing quickly and getting closer to the other shore realm, ready to break through at any moment. Lin Moyu had been contemplating the causality great Tao these days. Although he wouldn't comprehend the seventh great Tao, it didn't stop him from thinking about it. Unfortunately, after several days of contemplation, he hadn't made any progress. Although Xiao Wu had demonstrated the fruit fire, which indeed contained the aura of the causality Great Tao. It was similar to the aura in the causality gourd. Just as Lin Moyu couldn't comprehend the causality Great Tao through the causality gourd, he couldn't comprehend it through the fruit fire demonstrated by Xiao Wu. If the causality Great Tao were so easy to comprehend, Xiao San wouldn't have said no one had ever comprehended it. Like other illusory Great Taos, the causality Great Tao is more mysterious than the luck Great Tao. While pondering, Lin Moyu continued condensing the 26th Tao pattern. The 25th Tao pattern was still vacant, as Lin Moyu hadn't merged it with any spell. On the 12th day after Xiao Wu arrived in Yudao City, the human emperor suddenly sent a message.
Realm Master, an old friend of yours has arrived.
Lin Moyu looked through Yudao City and saw the visitor.
Indeed, an old friend.
This old friend was Lu Fengqing, the white-haired Lu Fengqing, who indeed looked quite old. In fact, he wasn't very old, only about 100,000 years, not too old for a Tao sovereign. He was the formation master of the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, with his formation skills reaching the 7th level, a true formation grandmaster. Most of the formations in the Lu Feng Merchant Guild's branches were set up by him, but due to his somewhat crazy personality, people also called him Lu Madman. Accompanying Lu Fengqing was another person, also an acquaintance of Lin Moyu, Lu Shui. Lu Shui was previously a minor manager in the Jade Sword City Merchant Guild, and it was unclear why she was now with Lu Fengqing. Given Lin Moyu's understanding of the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, being able to return from the South Continent to the East Continent meant Lu Shui had been promoted. Lin Moyu said,
Let them in. I'll wait for them at the City Lord's mansion.
In Yudao City, there was a City Lord's mansion, usually unoccupied, with some cultivators cleaning it. For these cultivators in Yudao City, getting a cleaning job at the City Lord's mansion was an honor. Not only was it easy, but they could also earn points. In Yudao City, points were money used to buy or exchange for anything, or exchanged with the human emperor for various items. The entire system was similar to that of the Great World. Lin Moyu used the Origin Spirit Vein to instantly teleport to the main hall of the City Lord's mansion. 2 people were cleaning the main hall, and Lin Moyu's sudden appearance startled them. Lin Moyu waved his hand.
You can leave now. I have guests coming.
The 2 looked at each other, unsure of what to do. They didn't know Lin Moyu, but they could feel the thick aura of authority emanating from him, almost suffocating them. Lin Moyu hadn't released any pressure. Otherwise, these 2 little guys at the True God realm would have been scared to death. They were at a loss, and after a few seconds, one of them bravely asked,
May I ask, who are you, senior?
Lin Moyu smiled.
Lin Moyu.
The 2 were stunned for a moment, then fell to the ground in fright, stammering,
Are you the legendary City Lord Lin?
Lin Moyu looked at their expressions, somewhat helpless, and waved them outside.
Human Emperor, you take over.
He had been a hands-off manager for a long time, and few in the city knew him personally. The human emperor issued orders, clearing everyone from the City Lord's mansion. Then he personally brought Lu Fengqing and Lu Shui into the formation. After entering the formation, the human emperor appeared, taking on the appearance of Xiao Zhantian.
Taoist Lu, apologies for not welcoming you sooner. The City Lord is waiting in the mansion.
Lu Fengqing didn't look pleased, muttering,
I came personally, and Lin Moyu didn't come to greet me. Does he think he's above me now that he's a Tao sovereign?
Lu Shui didn't mind. Her status wasn't as high as Lu Fengqing's, so she didn't care much about such things. Lin Moyu naturally didn't look down on Lu Fengqing, but he represented not himself but all of Yudao City. Lu Fengqing also represented not himself but the Lu Feng Merchant Guild. Privately, it didn't matter, but publicly, they had to maintain appearances. The human emperor said nothing, nor did he reveal his realm. His identity was special, like Lu Lian's. As long as he didn't release his power, outsiders couldn't discern his realm. Lu Fengqing didn't know how strong the human emperor was, and with a hint of displeasure, he followed him into Yudao City. As he walked, he said,
The Heavenly Thunder Fire Array, integrated with runes, forming an array group. This formation is quite good, a 6th level array group stronger than most 7th level formations. Which formation master set this up? From this formation alone, it has the flavor of a formation grandmaster.
The human emperor didn't hide it.
The city lord set it up himself.
Lu Fengqing responded with an
"Oh."
and then let out a strange cry.
You said this formation was set up by Lin Moyu himself?
The human emperor, familiar with Lu Fengqing's nickname, wasn't surprised. But he corrected.
Elder Lu, please don't call the city lord that.
Lu Fengqing was somewhat dismissive.
I've always called him that.
At this point, Lu Shui tugged at Lu Fengqing's clothes, whispering,
Elder, don't forget Lord Lu Lian's instructions before we left.
Lu Fengqing paused, then changed his tone.
I said it out of habit. I'll be careful next time.
He then asked,
Did Lin Moyu really set up this array group?
The human emperor said.
Absolutely.
Lu Fengqing pressed further.
How long did it take him to set up this formation?
The human emperor didn't hide it.
1 year.
Bang! The human emperor turned to see Lu Fengqing had fallen flat on the ground, prostrating himself. The scream came from Lu Shui, who was also startled by Lu Fengqing's fall. A Dao sovereign, falling while walking? Who would believe it? Lu Shui quickly helped Lu Fengqing up.
Elder Lu, are you all right?
Lu Fengqing was filled with disbelief, muttering,
Impossible, impossible. How could it only take a year?
He couldn't believe Lin Moyu had set up such a massive array group in just 1 year. The human emperor chuckled lightly, not explaining.
Elder Lu, let's continue. Yudao City is just ahead.
2903 Chapter 2903. Don't throw a tantrum here. Lu Fengqing was still immersed in his own world, not finding the formation group unreasonable, but surprised that Lin Moyu could set up such a formation group. In his view, this level had already reached the pinnacle of a 6th-level formation master. Thinking back to when he first met Lin Moyu hadn't even truly touched formations. How many years had it been, and he had already reached this level? What he couldn't believe the most was that such a large formation group was set up in just 1 year, something he couldn't do himself. Even if he were to set it up, it would take at least 3 to 5 years. This was the point Lu Fengqing couldn't accept. His spirit was hit, and his Dao heart began to waver. If this were true, he felt that all his years of cultivation and study of formations were worthless. The two entered Yudao City, bustling with people. The human emperor introduced.
This is Yudao City, and there are already millions here.
In fact, Yudao City's population had exceeded 2 million. During the century Lin Moyu advanced to Dao sovereign, the human emperor had been moving people in, continuously increasing the population. Moreover, many in the city were having children on the origin continent generation after generation. Yudao City was constantly expanding, with countless people working hard for its development. Entering Yudao City, Lu Fengqing seemed to return from a world beyond to the real world, finally acting normal. He observed the situation in Yudao City and sensed the pervasive origin power, whispering,
There's an origin spirit vein here, and it's not low level.
The human emperor said nothing, knowing this couldn't be hidden from Lu Fengqing. After all, Lu Fengqing was a Dao sovereign, and once he entered Yudao City, he would inevitably sense the origin spirit vein. It wasn't surprising. Establishing a force in the East Continent without an origin spirit vein would mean wasted efforts when the terrain changed over centuries. Lu Shui said,
I didn't expect Mr. Lin's force to reach such a scale.
Lu Fengqing said,
Indeed, very fast. There are many supremes here, and many heavenly sovereigns, meeting the standards of a 2-star or 3-star force. If there's another Dao sovereign, it would be a solid 4-star force.
The human emperor said,
Every force on the origin continent requires countless years and generations to grow strong. We're still weak, and it's nothing now.
Lu Fengqing asked,
When do you plan to contact the outside world?
When a force develops to a certain extent, it inevitably contacts the outside world. Creating an isolated utopia is difficult. There are utopia-like forces on the origin continent, but they only avoid worldly affairs after reaching a certain level. In other words, to avoid worldly affairs, one must be strong enough to deter others. The human emperor led them towards the city lord's mansion, through bustling streets. Laughter came from ahead, and Lu Fengqing looked up to see Xiaowu and Xiaoye. He knew these two young girls, and seeing them, his eyes narrowed.
Their cultivation speed is very fast.
In just a few years, Xiaowu was only a step away from Tao Sovereign. Xiaoye had also reached the peak of God Sovereign, about to reach the other shore realm. He could see that Xiaoye's foundation was deep, and entering the other shore realm was no problem. The human emperor smiled.
Miss Xie and Miss Xiaowu have the city lord personally teaching them, so their cultivation speed is rapid.
Lu Fengqing didn't respond, his gaze falling on Xiaowu, growing more puzzled.
This girl seems strange.
The human emperor just smiled and didn't answer. He wouldn't tell Lu Fengqing that Xiaowu's true form was the soul spirit ancestor beast. In confusion, Lu Fengqing entered the city lord's mansion. Through the corridor, he saw Lin Moyu sitting leisurely in the main hall, sipping tea. Lu Fengqing was holding back anger, thinking it was too much for Lin Moyu not to greet him personally, considering he was his senior. He entered the main hall, speaking gruffly.
You brat.
Before he could finish, Lin Moyu suddenly looked over. With Lin Moyu's gaze, an invisible aura came, Lin Moyu's superior presence turning into a heavy pressure on Lu Fengqing. The words he wanted to say were swallowed back. He suddenly realized Lin Moyu was different from before. This aura of superiority was something he had only seen in true sect ancestors. But Lin Moyu was only a Tao sovereign first realm, and had just become one. How could he have such an aura? Ultimately, it was because Lin Moyu usually dealt with high-level beings like the Lord Ancestor. He had killed divine pets and even outer gods. He had seen and even killed those at the Great Tao realm. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu had accumulated a corresponding aura. Today was not a private meeting between Lin Moyu and Lu Fengqing. They represented their respective forces, making the situation different. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, gesturing.
Elder Lu, you've come a long way. Forgive me for not welcoming you sooner. Tea is ready. Elder Lu and Miss Lu Shui, sit and have some tea, and we can talk slowly.
Tea was already prepared at the seat below Lin Moyu, with magical teaware that brewed tea automatically. Lu Fengqing snorted, sitting down, and Lu Shui sat beside him. Lu Fengqing said in a low voice,
Lin boy, do you know why we're here?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
I suppose the three ancestors sent you.
Mentioning the three ancestors immediately raised the conversation's level. Lu Fengqing represented the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, which essentially represented the three ancestors. If Lin Moyu could talk with the three ancestors, so could he. Lin Moyu knew Lu Fengqing's temper, so he wanted to suppress it first. Sure enough, Lu Fengqing glared at Lin Moyu, then told Lu Shui.
Give him the item.
Lu Shui stood up gracefully, saluting Lin Moyu.
Congratulations to City Lord Lin for advancing to Tao Sovereign. By order of the three ancestors, I present this gift.
She spoke and took out a finely crafted jade box. The jade box floated to Lin Moyu's hand, sealed with a rune that not everyone could open. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, gathering power at his fingertips, and lightly touched the rune, shattering it. The rune was high level, not something ordinary people could open. But it was easy to open with ethereal power, breaking it effortlessly. Lin Moyu used the power Great Tao to break the rune easily. He opened the box, glanced inside, then closed it again.
Please thank the three ancestors for me. I'll accept this kind gesture. If the three ancestors have any instructions, feel free to tell me.
Lu Shui bowed slightly.
I'll be sure to convey your words.
Lu Fengqing watched Lin Moyu's actions, surprised. He had studied the jade box on the way but couldn't open it. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu opened it so easily.
How did he do that?
Feeling a bit strange, he said,
Lu Shui, we've given the gift, let's talk business.
2904 2904 Chapter 2904. Public and private matters are separate. Lu Shui said,
City Lord Lin, our Lu Feng Merchant Guild would like to establish a branch in your city. What do you think?
Lin Moyu raised an eyebrow. The Lu Feng Merchant Guild wouldn't casually establish a branch in just any city. If they set up a branch, it would mean that the Lu Feng Merchant Guild acknowledges the city and its power. Whether in the East Continent or the South Continent, only a few major cities have branches of the Lu Feng Merchant Guild. In smaller cities, there are only regional guilds, and a top-tier guild like the Lu Feng Merchant Guild wouldn't appear. Now, the Lu Feng Merchant Guild wants to establish a branch in Yudao City, which means they acknowledge Yudao City. But Lin Moyu knew what Yudao City was like. It couldn't compare to those major cities. In other words, the Lu Feng Merchant Guild wasn't coming for Yudao City but for him. Lin Moyu instantly understood why. The three ancestors saw value in him, so they were willing to invest. If the investment succeeded, that would be great. If it failed, there wouldn't be much loss. The three ancestors had likely made countless such investments. Once he accepted the Lu Feng Merchant Guild's proposal to establish a branch, Yudao City would be exposed to the world. But Yudao City was still too weak, not strong enough in any aspect. Normally, it wasn't the right time. Lin Moyu looked at the human emperor.
In our plan, how long until Yudao City contacts the outside world?
The human emperor said.
About another 200 years.
Lu Shui asked.
Another 100 years?
Lu Fengqing also said.
Why another 100 years? Our guild entering your Yudao City is an opportunity.
Lin Moyu remained unmoved.
Let me think about it.
100 years was just a number the human emperor casually mentioned. On the surface, Lin Moyu seemed to be asking the human emperor, but in the real world, they were communicating. Their surface conversation was a performance. Lin Moyu's consciousness was also communicating with the human emperor. In their original plan, Yudao City needed to have Dao sovereigns and not just one. Only then, when Yudao City emerged, could it have some control and be relatively safe. If it was too weak, a single Dao sovereign could destroy Yudao City upon contact with the outside world. That was the initial situation, but now things had changed. Although Hao Yinzun and others hadn't become Dao sovereigns, the human emperor had transformed into a Dao sovereign, and a sixth realm one at that, just without a true body of the great Dao. The human emperor's increased power meant he could control all of Yudao City. This situation was somewhat similar to the Lu Feng Merchant Guild's mall, where they didn't need their people to act. If there was any trouble, Lu Lian could handle it. So now, letting Yudao City contact the outside world wasn't impossible. Once Yudao City opened, its cultivators could interact with outsiders and travel outside. Lu Fengqing, seeing Lin Moyu silent, grew impatient.
Can you give a straightforward answer? When did you become so indecisive?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Elder Lu, this isn't a small matter. I need to think it through.
He then turned to Lu Shui.
Miss Lu Shui, I have a few questions.
Lu Shui said.
Please go ahead, City Lord Lin.
Lin Moyu asked.
How long would it take your guild to establish a branch?
Lu Shui replied.
It depends on how much land City Lord Lin gives us. Normally, it would take about half a month to build the buildings, followed by Elder Lu setting up the formations. Based on Elder Lu's usual speed, it would take about half a year.
Lin Moyu pondered, seemingly weighing the pros and cons. In reality, he was discussing with the human emperor in the real world. After some discussion, they reached a decision. Opening Yudao City had advantages and disadvantages, but overall, the advantages outweighed the disadvantages. Flowers in a greenhouse are nice, but they can't withstand wind and snow, lacking the vitality of wildflowers. Even if they cultivated many talents in the sealed Yudao City, they would eventually have to be placed on the origin continent. So why not let them enter the origin continent early and experience the storms? If they were truly talented, no storm could crush them. In the past, the human race in the great world faced difficulties. Yet talents still emerged despite being surrounded by hundreds of races. After a moment of thought, Lin Moyu said,
In that case, I'll trouble Miss Lu Shui and Elder Fengqing. The specific location of the guild can be discussed with the human emperor.
Seeing Lin Moyu agree, Lu Shue's face lit up with a bright smile.
Thank you, City Lord Lin.
If Lin Moyu agreed, she would be in charge of the branch here. Being independently responsible for a branch would greatly enhance her status in the family. So whether Lin Moyu agreed was very important to her. She even thought Lin Moyu might propose some harsh conditions, but he agreed without saying anything. Lu Fengqing frowned.
City Lord Lin, there might be things Miss Lu Shui didn't explain clearly. Our branch needs some special rights.
Lin Moyu said.
No problem. Let Miss Lu Shui discuss it with the human emperor. As long as it's not excessive, it can be discussed.
Lu Fengqing said.
As a city lord, don't you handle anything?
Lin Moyu replied.
I have my own matters to attend to. Elder Lu, are you speaking on behalf of the Lu Feng Merchant Guild or personally?
Lu Fengqing raised an eyebrow.
What's the difference?
Lin Moyu said.
Public matters are public, and private matters are private. Previously, you represented the guild, so we handled business without considering personal relationships. If you're speaking personally, you're my senior, and that's different.
Lu Fengqing blew his beard.
You people think too much, your minds are complicated.
Lin Moyu smiled without responding. He knew Lu Fengqing had a simple mind, somewhat stubborn and mad. Though not stupid, his intelligence was focused on cultivation and formations, lacking in other areas. That's why people called him Lu Madman. Lu Shui had already gone to discuss with the human emperor. She was the main character this time. Lu Fengqing was here to set up formations. The decisions were all in Lu Shui's hands. But Lu Fengqing was an elder, so Lu Shui respected him. Lin Moyu slowly stood up and walked outside the hall.
Senior, let's talk about personal matters now. I heard you're interested in my Heavenly Thunder Fire Array.
Lin Moyu shifted the topic to formations. Talking about formations, Lu Fengqing immediately perked up.
Is it true that you set up this array group in a year?
He looked incredulous, clearly not believing Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't explain.
Come, I'll show you. I also want to modify the formation.
2905 Chapter 2905 The Third Person in the World. After advancing to Tao Sovereign, Lin Moyu had already thought about modifying the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation Array. During the years he lectured Xiaoye, Lin Moyu had also planned the corresponding formations. After calculation, he had a bold idea in mind. Lu Fengqing followed Lin Moyu with confusion, flying away from Yudao City to the formation array. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and a rune flew out and fell into the formation array. The formation array immediately lit up, with vast energy flowing through it. The entire formation array was like a dome, covering the whole Yudao City. In Yudao City, everyone saw the formation array, and many exclaimed in amazement. However, many people in Yudao City weren't surprised, as they had witnessed how Lin Moyu set up the formation, seeing the entire process of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation from its birth to completion. The Human Emperor's database also had corresponding records, and anyone who had seen them would know about the existence of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation. Lu Fengqing looked at the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation array like appreciating a piece of art, his eyes fixed on it without blinking. The Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation wasn't anything special. He could set it up too, even integrating runes, he could do it as well. The key was that Lin Moyu had turned the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation into a formation array. A total of 1,000 Heavenly Thunder Fire Formations fused together to form a whole. This greatly enhanced the power of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation, comparable to a 7th level formation. What Lu Fengqing couldn't believe was that Lin Moyu had accomplished this feat in just 1 year. Just as Lu Fengqing was greedily admiring the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation array, one of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formations suddenly collapsed silently. Then, the other Heavenly Thunder Fire Formations also collapsed one after another, the formation array withering quickly like flowers. Lu Fengqing suddenly turned his head to look at Lin Moyu, calling out urgently,
What did you do?
Lin Moyu knew Lu Fengqing's personality and didn't mind.
This formation array is no longer suitable for the current Yudao city. I need to rearrange the formation.
Lu Fengqing was stunned.
What formation are you going to set up? You'll know in a moment. If you want to see, just follow me.
Lin Moyu flew forward, and Lu Fengqing followed without a word. Previously, the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation covered an area of over 10,000 kilometers, with Yudao City occupying only a negligible part of the area covered by the formation. For the cultivators in Yudao City, this area was enough to use. But that was before. Now Lin Moyu wanted to expand the area of Yudao City, and the best way was to expand the formation. The larger the area occupied by the formation, the larger the territory and power of Yudao City. However, the larger the formation area, the higher the requirements for setting up the formation, and the difficulty increases linearly. Lin Moyu arrived at a place 50,000 kilometers away from Yudao City. Lu Fengqing, following behind, had his eyes wide open.
Don't tell me you plan to set up the formation here? A radius of 50,000 kilometers, a diameter of 100,000 kilometers. How many formations do you need to cover the city? Are you crazy?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Just watch.
For such a large area, if still using the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation, at least tens of thousands of Heavenly Thunder Fire Formations would be needed. Tens of thousands of Heavenly Thunder Fire Formations, just thinking about it makes one despair, and if even one goes wrong, the entire formation array might collapse. Letting a skilled formation master set up so many formations would definitely lead to errors. If different formation masters work together, the formation setup would definitely have differences and ultimately couldn't be combined. So to set up a formation array, only one person can do it, others can't help. Lu Fengqing estimated that with his ability, it would take 5 years to set up the previous Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation array. If the area is expanded, the time would increase exponentially, and he could at most set up a formation array within a radius of 20,000 kilometers. Any larger would be impossible. But now Lin Moyu actually wanted to set up a formation array within a radius of 50,000 kilometers. This was simply madness. But seeing Lin Moyu's confident look, Lu Fengqing couldn't help but think to himself,
could this kid's formation skills have surpassed mine? Impossible, absolutely impossible. How long has he been studying formations? I've been researching formations for tens of thousands of years. How could he surpass me?
Lu Fengqing refused to believe that Lin Moyu's formation skills could surpass his own. After pondering for a moment, Lin Moyu finally started to work. A vast and terrifying aura suddenly rose. Lin Moyu had now become a Dao sovereign, much stronger than before. With 6 great Daos and 25 Dao patterns, although only a Dao sovereign first realm, the pressure he emitted had already shocked Lu Fengqing. Lu Fengqing couldn't believe this was the pressure a Dao sovereign realm should have. Lin Moyu didn't care about Lu Fengqing's thoughts. He had already started to set up the formation. The formation he chose was still from the Heavenly Thunder Daoist's formation inheritance, the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation. The 9 Heavens Thunder Formation was a 7th level formation, and one of the top 7th level formations. It had 2 advantages. First, it was strong enough with amazing killing power. A single formation could kill a Dao sovereign 3rd realm. Second, the range of the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation was large enough. If fully expanded, its coverage could reach more than 10 times that of the Heavenly Thunder Fire Formation. In other words, a relatively small number of formations could cover this huge area with a diameter of 10 million kilometers. According to Lin Moyu's calculations, about 3,009 Heavens Thunder Formations would be enough to cover the area he had marked out. Moreover, Lin Moyu wasn't just setting up the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation so simply. The 9 Heavens Thunder Formation was a pure formation, and Lin Moyu directly used 7th level origin crystals to set it up, which was extremely extravagant. The advantage of using origin crystals was that it could connect with the origin spirit vein without worrying about running out of power. As long as the origin spirit vein existed, the power of the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation would not be exhausted. His left hand threw out origin crystals one by one, while his right hand began to draw talisman formations. The talisman formation was also the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation. Lin Moyu had forcibly transformed the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation into a talisman formation. Lu Fengqing, standing beside him, had his eyes wide open. He finally understood what Lin Moyu was trying to do. Lin Moyu wanted to fuse the talisman formation with the physical formation, not simply using runes to enhance the power of the physical formation, but truly fusing the talisman formation and the physical formation. This was something even he, a formation grandmaster, hadn't achieved, and as far as he knew, only 2 people in the entire Origin continent could do this. Lin Moyu was doing it now, and if he really succeeded, he would be the 3rd person in the world. At least in the field of formations, only 2 people could compare with him. Lu Fengqing's mouth twitched, unable to speak. His heart was extremely complex. There was a time when he thought about taking Lin Moyu as a disciple and passing on his legacy. Now it seemed that even if he became Lin Moyu's disciple, he might not be qualified. Under his gaze, Lin Moyu finally finished setting up the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation, and the Talisman Formation was also completed. The physical formation and talisman formation touched each other, beginning to fuse. Both formations were set up by Lin Moyu, containing the same root and source aura, fusing very smoothly. This also showed that both formations were equally perfect, without any flaws. How difficult it was to fuse formations. If there was even a slight mismatch between the 2 formations, fusion would be impossible. Now, the perfect fusion of 2 7th-level formations was enough to prove how terrifying Lin Moyu's control over formations was. But this wasn't the most important thing. What Lin Moyu did next shocked Lu Fengqing again. 2906 Chapter 2906. Formation Spirit Xiao Jin reappears. Nothing is impossible.
Xiao Jin, come out.
Under Lu Fengqing's shocked gaze, the formation spirit Xiao Jin flew out from Lin Moyu's body. Xiao Jin's appearance had changed greatly, completely different from before. After Lin Moyu advanced to Dao Sovereign, he had the idea of rearranging Yudao City's formation array and letting Xiao Jin control it. During the time he was lecturing, Lin Moyu had been making preparations. Since the war in the Great World ended, Xiao Jin seemed to have lost its purpose and never appeared again. In fact, Xiao Jin had always been there. It was initially arranged in the Soul World, and after the Great World merged with the Rule World, Xiao Jin was arranged in the marginal area of the Great World. There, Lin Moyu had been using formations to strengthen Xiao Jin. Xiao Jin was a formation spirit that couldn't be measured by normal realms, but it was more than enough to control formations. Over the years, Xiao Jin's intelligence had become more and more complete.
Try to see if you can control it.
At Lin Moyu's command, Xiao Jin rushed into the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation without hesitation. The formation was activated, and the sky suddenly darkened as if enveloped by night. With rumbling sounds, a black cloud appeared out of thin air, and lightning snakes danced in the darkness. Then countless thunderbolts fell from the sky, as if the gods above were angry and sending down shocking thunder. The lightning covered a large area, extremely violent. Lu Fengqing let out a strange cry and quickly retreated, moving away from the range of the thunderstorm. Originally, with the power of the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation, any Dao Sovereign Third Realm caught in it would be severely injured at best, or have their body destroyed and Dao dissipated at worst. Now that Lin Moyu had fused the physical formation with the talisman formation, the power of the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation had advanced further, reaching the 8th level. The power of an 8th level formation could destroy a Dao Sovereign 4th Realm. With Lu Fengqing's strength, being struck by the lightning once could possibly destroy his body and dissipate his Dao. Lu Fengqing stood far away, not daring to approach at all, his eyes full of terror.
Your formation spirit can actually control the formation.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Is there a problem? Senior Lu, don't hide so far away. Come closer, we won't do anything to you.
Lu Fengqing didn't come over at all, shouting from afar.
There's a big problem. Your formation spirit wasn't born from the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation. How can it control it?
In his understanding, only formation spirits born from a formation could control that formation. If it was a different formation, the formation spirit wouldn't be able to control it. But Xiao Jin was clearly different. It obviously wasn't born from the Nine Heavens Thunder formation, yet it could control it. This already violated common sense. Lin Moyu laughed.
I think it's normal. Xiao Jin is my formation spirit, and the Nine Heavens Thunder formation is my formation. There's nothing strange about it being able to control the Nine Heavens Thunder formation.
Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't explain to Lu Fengqing how he achieved this. Xiao Jin's ability to control the Nine Heavens Thunder formation didn't come easily. For many years, Lin Moyu had been preparing. He not only used formations to constantly strengthen Xiao Jin's power, but also continuously fed formations to Xiao Jin. He created a large number of formations, letting Xiao Jin adapt to them until Xiao Jin could control various formations. These formations were all personally arranged by Lin Moyu, containing Lin Moyu's imprint, and Xiao Jin also became filled with Lin Moyu's imprint through the repeated process of being fed formations. Through these imprints, the two could easily fuse together, naturally completing the control. It sounds simple, but it's actually very difficult to achieve. Even Lu Fengqing didn't notice that Lin Moyu had actually made some modifications to the Nine Heavens Thunder formation, leaving his own soul imprint in the formation. This became the key to Xiao Jin being able to control the formation. But Lin Moyu wanted more than this. His ultimate goal in bringing out Xiao Jin was to have it control the formation array. Once the formation array of 3009 Heavens Thunder formations was formed, anyone below Dao Sovereign 7th Realm who entered would die. In fact, without Xiao Jin, the Human Emperor could also operate the formation. However, the Human Emperor wasn't a formation spirit. With Xiao Jin present, the formation's power could be increased by another level. A few minutes later, the thunderstorm subsided, and Xiao Jin emerged from the formation, saying in a crisp voice,
Master, I have fully mastered the formation.
Lin Moyu asked,
How does it feel? Is there any pressure?
Xiao Jin shook its head.
No pressure at all.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Let's continue.
Under Lu Fengqing's shocked gaze, Lin Moyu began to arrange the second Nine Heavens Thunder formation. It was the same combination of physical formation and talisman formation, identical to the previous one. Lin Moyu's formation arrangement technique was nearly perfect, without a single mistake from start to finish. The talisman formation and physical formation fused perfectly again, forming the second Nine Heavens Thunder formation. Xiao Jin appeared at this time, diving into the second Nine Heavens Thunder formation and quickly mastering it. Then, under Xiao Jin's control, the two formations combined perfectly. In an instant, the formation's aura greatly increased, becoming much stronger than before. This was Xiao Jin's second use, combining formations. The stronger the formation, the harder it is to combine, but with Xiao Jin present, this problem was solved. Afterwards, Lin Moyu began to arrange the third formation. With the experience of the first two successes, Lin Moyu's speed in arranging formations was gradually increasing, becoming more and more proficient. Lu Fengqing watched, completely stunned. He had to admit that Lin Moyu's formation skills had surpassed his own. Perhaps he knew more types of formations, but that was just an accumulation of time. With Lin Moyu's talent, it wouldn't take long to learn those formations. Gradually, Lu Fengqing's gaze changed. As he watched Lin Moyu arrange the formations, his eyes grew brighter, filled with reverence. For him, only two things mattered most in life: cultivation and formations. Cultivation was also for learning and mastering more profound formations. He had devoted his life to the Tao of formations, and now watching Lin Moyu arrange formations was like watching a feast for his eyes. He began greedily learning Lin Moyu's formation arrangement methods, starting to extract his own insights from it. For him, this was an incredibly precious experience. If he could grasp it well, his formation skills would improve significantly, especially the true method of fusing physical formations and talisman formations. Perhaps he could break through this level and become the fourth formation master on the origin continent to complete the fusion of talismans and physical formations. After a discussion, Lu Shui and the Human Emperor finally settled all the details and found a suitable location. The Human Emperor arranged a very large area in Yudao City for Lu Shui. Lu Shui was extremely satisfied with this and immediately began constructing buildings. Lu Shui took out many puppets from her storage treasure. These puppets were construction workers, specifically used for building houses. All the houses of the Lu Feng Merchant Guild were created by puppets. Just half a month later, a building was completed. The next step was the detailed decoration and arrangement of formations. At this point, Lu Shui found that she couldn't find Lu Fengqing. With no choice, she could only go to the human emperor. Only then did she learn that Lu Fengqing had gone to study formations with Lin Moyu and wouldn't be back for a while. Lu Shui was startled. How could Lu Fengqing possibly be learning formations from Lin Moyu? Lu Fengqing was already a top formation grandmaster in the Lu Feng Merchant Guild. It wasn't until the human emperor led her to where the two were arranging formations, letting her see with her own eyes, that she had to believe it was true. 2907 Chapter 2907. I really want to call you Master Lin. Lu Fengqing was like a devout apprentice, watching Lin Moyu arrange formations. Occasionally, when Lin Moyu had a moment, he would ask a few questions. Lin Moyu didn't hide anything and would answer Lu Fengqing's questions. The old and young pair were like master and disciple in this moment. Lu Shui knew Lu Fengqing's personality. Once he was immersed in formations, she couldn't pull him back. Going over now would only be awkward. The only option now was to wait until Lin Moyu finished arranging the formations. Then Lu Fengqing would return to set up the formations for the branch. Lu Shui asked,
How long will it take City Lord Lin to arrange this formation?
The human emperor said,
Slow would be a year. Fast would be half a year.
Lu Shui felt relieved. Half a year to a year was fine, she could wait that long. Lu Shui returned to the newly built branch, where puppets were still decorating. This was meticulous work that took time. Lu Shui entered her room, took out a formation disc and some origin crystals, and activated the disc. The disc emitted an invisible force that enveloped the room. At this moment, this small room was separated from the human emperor's control. He could not know what happened inside. The three ancestors' voice sounded from the formation disc.
Snow Girl, how did the talks go? Did you deliver the gift? I've delivered it, and construction on the branch has begun.
Lu Shui reported the situation in Yudao City and recent events to the three ancestors. Her voice was full of respect. In the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, the three ancestors were undoubtedly supreme. Usually, with her status, she would never be able to interact with the three ancestors. This time, not only was she transferred to the East Continent, but she could also interact with the three ancestors. Lu Shui felt her life had opened up. After listening, the three ancestors actually laughed.
I didn't expect this kid could actually complete the fusion of talisman and physical formations.
Lu Shui didn't know what the fusion of talisman and physical formations meant, but based on her description, the three ancestors already knew what level Lin Moyu's realm had reached. The fact that Lu Fengqing, a 7th-level formation grandmaster, had to ask Lin Moyu for guidance was enough to explain everything. Hearing the three ancestors' voice, Lu Shui felt their mood seemed good, and she secretly sighed in relief.
Three ancestors, should we continue to wait regarding Elder Lu?
The three ancestors said,
There's no need to rush this matter. When Lu Fengqing returns, let him arrange the formations. Don't disturb them.
Lu Shui nodded.
Understood, I know what to do.
The three ancestors instructed again.
In the future, if Lin Moyu has any resource needs, try to fulfill them. If you can't make the decision, you can contact me directly or contact Lu Lian. Don't rush to refuse, understand?
Lu Shui's heart trembled slightly as she nodded.
Rest assured, three ancestors, Lu Shui understands what to do.
Lu Shui pondered the three ancestors' words carefully. From their brief conversation, she could tell that the three ancestors actually valued Lin Moyu highly. Regardless of the reason, Lin Moyu held a high position in the three ancestors' hearts. This also let Lu Shui know how she should face Lin Moyu and Yudao City in the future. The number of 9 Heaven's Thunder formations continued to increase. Lin Moyu's formation arrangement speed got faster and faster. But no matter how fast, the formations he arranged were always perfect without any flaws. Each time, he could perfectly fuse the talisman formation and physical formation. At the same time, Xiao Jin continuously combined the 9 heavens thunder formations, saving Lin Moyu a lot of effort with its presence. Moreover, in the process of combining formations, Xiao Jin's own power was constantly strengthening. Although the human emperor could also control the 9 heavens thunder formation, the power he could exert was not as good as Xiao Jin's. In terms of formations, the formation spirit had advantages that the human emperor couldn't match. After a full 8 months, the 3009 heavens thunder formation was completed. Just as Lin Moyu calculated, 3009 heavens thunder formations perfectly covered the 100,000 li space around Yudao City. The 9 heavens thunder formations formed a formation array, with talisman and physical formations perfectly fused. With the origin spirit vein providing power to the formation array, anyone below Dao Sovereign 7th Realm who trespassed would die. Even a Dao Sovereign 7th Realm existence would have to think twice about entering. The 9 heavens thunder formation array could not only defend against external enemies, but also launch internal attacks if anything happened in Yudao City. With its existence, Yudao City's security increased significantly. Lu Fengqing spent 8 months witnessing the birth of the formation array and how Lin Moyu arranged these 3,000 formations. Lin Moyu's technique shocked and impressed him immensely. For 3,000 formations, there wasn't a single error from start to finish. Lin Moyu didn't seem human anymore. When formation masters arrange formations, they consume a lot of soul power. When soul power is consumed to a certain extent, control decreases, and errors inevitably occur. This is unavoidable for all formation masters. But Lin Moyu's control never decreased even slightly from start to finish. In fact, as his proficiency increased, his formation arrangement speed kept accelerating. This also indirectly showed how terrifying Lin Moyu's soul power must be. As the 9 heavens thunder formation array fully activated, Xiao Jin appeared in the formation array.
Master, the formation array has been fully mastered.
Lin Moyu nodded with a smile.
Good, then I'll leave the formation array to you from now on. Discuss the details with the human emperor.
Xiao Jin responded.
Don't worry, Master, Xiao Jin understands.
Lin Moyu turned to Lu Fengqing.
Senior, we should head back.
Lu Fengqing looked at the formation array, still somewhat reluctant, with an expression of not wanting to leave. Lin Moyu smiled.
Senior must have gained quite a bit during this time. Go back and digest it well. You might become an 8th level formation master.
In these 8 months, Lu Fengqing had learned a lot, more useful than 800 years of his own hard cultivation. If not for his age and status, he would have knelt down and taken Lin Moyu as his master. After a while, Lu Fengqing reluctantly withdrew his gaze.
I indeed have a deeper understanding of the Tao of formations. Although I may not necessarily become an 8th level grandmaster, I certainly have more chances now. For this, I must thank you. If not for the limitations of status, I would really like to call you Master Lin.
Lin Moyu laughed heartily.
Let's not bother with these formalities. Let's go back. Miss Lu Shui has been waiting for you for a long time. The formations in your guild also need your hand to arrange.
After waiting for 8 months, Lu Shui finally received notice from the human emperor that the formation array was complete, and Lu Fengqing was on his way back. Lu Shui immediately went out to welcome them. By now, the guild's building was fully decorated, with all necessary ornaments prepared. Only Lu Fengqing's formations were left. Lin Moyu returned to Yudao City and directly contacted the human emperor, handing him a token. This token was crafted by Lin Moyu to control the formations. Its authority was even higher than Xiao Jin's. If anything happened to Xiao Jin, the human emperor could use the token to control the formations. It wasn't that Lin Moyu didn't trust Xiao Jin, but there was a secret technique that could temporarily confuse formation spirits, causing chaos in the formation array. This token was a precaution. 2908. Chapter 2908. Being so polite, the 3 ancestors must have a request. Half a year later, the human emperor announced to the entire Yudao city that it was officially open to the outside world. Everyone could leave Yudao city at their own will. The human emperor had left a special mark on everyone in Yudao city, allowing them to freely enter and exit the formation array. This meant that Yudao city was officially establishing direct relations with the origin continent. At this moment, it was a huge change for the people in Yudao city. However, everyone was prepared. Living on the origin continent, they knew that sooner or later, like other forces, they would have direct contact with the people and affairs of the origin continent. Previously, Yudao city was closed because they were too weak and needed protection. But this protection couldn't last forever. On the day the human emperor announced the opening, many people left Yudao city to explore the surroundings. Now, Yudao city's area had expanded to a diameter of 100,000 kilometers, a vast area that could be explored for a long time. This was also a buffer zone left by Lin Moyu for people to adapt. The Lu Feng Merchant Guild's branch in Yudao city was finally completed. Next, the Lu Feng Merchant Guild would use its network to inform outsiders that there was a city here with their own guild. Therefore, Yudao city didn't need to advertise itself. People would know of its existence. Before long, Yudao city would have visitors. By then, Yudao city would become busy, and the Lu Feng Merchant Guild would also be bustling. Lin Moyu personally came to the guild and found Lu Shui.
Please, Miss Lu Shui, help me find the materials on this list.
Lu Shui took the list, glanced at it, and agreed.
All right, I'll inform the headquarters right away and have them send the materials.
Lin Moyu's eyes moved slightly, already guessing what was going on, and smiled.
Then I'll trouble Miss Lu Shui.
Lu Shui's attitude was excellent.
If City Lord Lin needs anything, just say it, and Lu Shui will try her best to fulfill it.
Lin Moyu left the guild and returned to his residence, pondering over the control.
Although most of the materials on that list aren't precious, some are quite rare. Lu Shui agreed without any hesitation. Lu Shui's attitude isn't normal, it's too good. It seems someone from the upper echelons of the guild has spoken, either Sister Feng Yao or the three ancestors. The gift the three ancestors had her bring this time.
Lin Moyu took out the box Lu Shui had brought, which contained 2 items. One was a Great Dao Undying Pill, very precious, and to Lin Moyu more valuable than a Great Dao Longevity Pill. The other was an item called Dao Soul Gold. The human emperor wanted to evolve a Great Dao true body and needed some materials to build a special body to carry the power of the Great Dao. The most important and rarest material in this body was Dao Soul Gold. Dao Soul Gold was very rare and niche with limited uses but high grade. Therefore, the price of Dao Soul Gold was very high, and most of the time money couldn't buy it. Obviously, the 3 ancestors knew Lin Moyu needed Dao Soul Gold, so they had Lu Shui bring it in advance.
The 3 ancestors are being so nice to me, they must have something to ask of me. That Thundershock secret realm before, 9 times out of 10, the 3 ancestors calculated that I would definitely go there. Jean Lei once said that a Dao Sovereign 9th realm person entered the Thundershock secret realm. It might have been the 3 ancestors. The 3 ancestors know I can kill extraterrestrial gods. That's why they're being so nice to me.
Lin Moyu thought a lot, knowing he might be overthinking, but the possibility of this speculation was not small. Just 5 days later, a flying ship arrived at Yudao City with dozens of people on board. The ship came from the commercial city, from the Lu Feng Merchant Guild. The leader had a cultivation of Dao Sovereign 7th Realm. With his escort, while not invincible in the East Continent, safety could be guaranteed in most situations. In other forces, a Dao Sovereign 7th Realm would be an ancestor-level figure, but in the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, he was just here to deliver goods. This shows how powerful the Lu Feng Merchant Guild truly was. This time, they brought a large batch of goods, including the batch Lin Moyu wanted to buy, as well as many other goods. The branch in Yudao City had just been established and was still an empty shell, needing a large number of goods to fill it. At the same time, these people were staff sent by the Lu Feng Merchant Guild, all to become Lu Shui's subordinates. These people's cultivation levels weren't high, ranging from True God Realm to Other Shore Realm, so they wouldn't affect the cultivators in Yudao City. Lu Shui personally delivered the materials Lin Moyu wanted, with an extremely good attitude. Moreover, Lin Moyu didn't even need to pay. It was directly deducted from his account points. At that time, Lin Moyu had an agreement with the three ancestors. Based on the method to break through to the Great Tao realm he obtained from the God-slaying sect, he could get a share of whatever price it sold for. The shared money would be converted into points, stored in his guild account, which could be used to purchase goods in the guild. Lin Moyu never knew how many points he had. He trusted the three ancestors' credibility and never bothered to check. Looking at the large pile of materials Lu Shui brought, Lin Moyu knew the three ancestors had sold his breakthrough method for a high price. But this wasn't important. How much the three ancestors could sell it for was their ability, and the higher the price, the more profit Lin Moyu would share. Lin Moyu threw all the materials to the human emperor, including the Tao Soul Gold. The human emperor immediately began refining his great Tao true body. In just 10 days, the human emperor had refined the great Tao true body. His great Tao true body looked no different from ordinary humans on the outside, but its internal structure was completely made of technological materials. The human emperor could use this body to draw on the power of the great Tao and evolve a great Tao true body. From this moment on, the human emperor would truly possess the combat power of a Tao sovereign sixth realm. Within the range of Yudao City, coupled with the 9 Heavens Thunder Formation Array, the human emperor could kill a Tao sovereign 7th realm expert. This greatly improved Yudao City's security and laid a solid foundation for it to become a great city. Dozens of days later, 12 black-robed figures appeared in the sky of Yudao City. These black-robed figures all emitted the aura of Tao sovereigns. Although only at the first realm, they were not weak. Tao sovereigns weren't common. In some 5-star forces, Tao sovereign realm cultivators were elders, true high-level figures. Only in top forces would there be more Tao sovereign first realm cultivators. The 12 black-robed figures stood in the air, positioned at various corners of Yudao City. These 12 were battle puppets refined by the human emperor, using the materials Lin Moyu bought from Lu Shui. Using these materials, he not only refined a great Tao true body for himself but also created 12 puppets with Tao sovereign first realm combat power. Using puppets to guard the corners of Yudao City was both a deterrent and a basic means of maintaining order. After all, the human emperor couldn't personally handle everything. 10 years after Yudao City opened, most people in the East Continent knew of its existence, and Yudao City had become lively. Cultivators constantly came to Yudao City, and merchant groups also came to establish bases in Yudao City. Over the 10 years, Lu Shui lived very comfortably, enjoying the feeling of wielding great power alone. After 10 years, Lu Shui suddenly flew out of the guild towards the city lord's mansion. 2909 Chapter 2909, Choosing Wrong, Even the Great Tao Realm Will Die. In 10 years, Lin Moyu lived leisurely, a rare period of relaxation in his cultivation journey. Leisurely did not mean doing nothing. Lin Moyu studied formations, condensed Tao patterns, comprehended the Great Tao, revived the stars in the 1,000-star Great Tao, and refined the origin spirit vein. He multitasked, leaving nothing behind. Lin Moyu selected a few people to form an organization called the 1,000-Star Hall, passing down the Star Lord's legacy within the 1,000-Star Great Tao. The 1,000-Star Hall belonged to Yudao City, but its members only followed the orders of Lin Moyu and the human emperor. In 10 years, Yudao City expanded again, and Lin Moyu felt some changes brought by its prosperity. The fortune of Yudao City had improved compared to 10 years ago. The increase in fortune directly affected the cultivation speed of Yudao City's residents. It also subtly influenced the aptitude of babies born in Yudao City. These were broad impacts, but for Lin Moyu the influence was more direct. The increase in fortune could shorten the time needed to condense Tao patterns. From this, Lin Moyu deduced that prehistoric cultivators also needed to rely on large sects when condensing Tao patterns. For lone cultivators, unless they had some opportunity or only condensed one Tao pattern, the time required for multiple Tao patterns could be despairing. Now, it took him 100 years to condense one Tao pattern, and it would only take longer in the future. The strength of fortune greatly affected him. While pondering, Lin Moyu suddenly received a reminder from the human emperor.
Lu Shui is coming over, and she seems a bit anxious.
Over the years, Lin Moyu had interacted with Lu Shui a few times, but it was always for business. He always went to find Lu Shui. She never came to him. This time, Lu Shui came on her own and seemed anxious, indicating something was up. The human emperor controlled all of Yudao City but did not monitor the Lufeng Merchant Guild. Lin Moyu knew that with the guild's methods, if they wanted to avoid the human emperor's surveillance, they could do so in many ways. Since that was the case, it was better not to monitor them openly. So, he didn't know why Lu Shui was coming to see him. Lin Moyu wasn't at the city lord's mansion initially, but upon learning Lu Shui was coming, he calmly stepped out and teleported to the mansion's hall through the origin spirit vein. With a wave of his hand, tea was ready, waiting for Lu Shui's arrival. The city lord's mansion was different from 10 years ago, and the people there knew Lin Moyu's identity, so they weren't surprised by his sudden appearance. To them, their city lord was just that mysterious. Moreover, the people the human emperor placed in the mansion were trustworthy. After being notified, Lu Shui entered the city lord's mansion and saw Lin Moyu seated at the head. Although she had seen Lin Moyu multiple times over the past 10 years, Lu Shui still found him unfathomable, not like a Dao Sovereign First Realm, but more like an ancestor-level figure of the Dao Sovereign Seventh Realm. Lu Shui saluted Lin Moyu.
I greet City Lord Lin.
Lin Moyu smiled.
No need for formalities. We're familiar. What brings you here, President Lu Shui?
Lu Shui was now the president of the guild in Yudao City, and Lin Moyu's address changed from Miss Lu Shui to President Lu Shui. However, in front of Lin Moyu, Lu Shui never dared to call herself president. Lu Shui said,
I just received orders from the three ancestors, so I came to see City Lord Lin immediately.
Lin Moyu realized it was as he guessed. Lin Moyu sipped his tea leisurely.
Even if it's about the three ancestors, there's no need to rush. What do they want?
Lu Shui shook her head.
I don't know.
As she spoke, she took out a formation disc.
The three ancestors said they want to speak with you directly.
Lin Moyu nodded.
All right, I'll speak with the three ancestors myself. Would you like to listen in, President Lu Shui?
Lu Shui knew her place and immediately left the hall. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, and an invisible force spread out, isolating the hall from the outside world. Then he activated the formation disc, and a few seconds later, the deep voice of the three ancestors came through.
Lin boy, long time no see.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Such a short time is just a blink of an eye for you.
The three ancestors snorted lightly.
It seems you've been living leisurely these years.
Lin Moyu said,
I'm not leisurely at all, quite busy. Cultivation is troublesome after becoming a Dao sovereign. Condensing Dao patterns is slow.
The three ancestors chuckled.
Condensing Dao patterns isn't easy, so I'm here to bring you an opportunity.
Lin Moyu said,
Is it to kill another extraterrestrial god? Yes.
As soon as the word,
Yes,
was out, the three ancestors immediately stopped, with a hint of displeasure.
Boy, you're trying to trick me.
Lin Moyu laughed.
Getting some truth from you, an old fox, isn't easy.
He already knew that his last trip to the Thundershock secret realm was calculated by the three ancestors. The three ancestors wanted to see if he could kill an extraterrestrial god. After learning he could kill divine pets, the three ancestors had this plan. The three ancestors were not only an old fox but also had thick skin from living countless years. He said softly,
You're a little fox yourself, even more cunning than me.
Lin Moyu, equally thick-skinned, accepted the title of Little Fox and calmly sipped his tea.
I'm just curious why you thought I'd choose the Thundershock secret realm.
The three ancestors chuckled.
Just a gamble on probability. Even if you went to another secret realm, you'd eventually go to the Thundershock secret realm. In the Thundershock secret realm, you'd encounter an extraterrestrial god. If you could kill it, you'd receive a great Dao reward to help condense Dao patterns. Though I don't know how many Dao patterns you'd condense, it wouldn't be few, at least 8 or 9.
Lin Moyu wouldn't tell the three ancestors he condensed 18 Tao patterns. He said in a low voice,
You really think highly of me. Did you know I almost died in the Thundershock secret realm?
The three ancestors seemed surprised.
There's no danger there. Even if you couldn't kill the extraterrestrial god, you shouldn't have been in danger.
Lin Moyu said.
I was almost possessed.
The three ancestors' aura became heavier, and the formation disk vibrated.
Was it Jean Lei? What happened after?
Lin Moyu nodded. I'm sitting here, so he's dead. He could have reincarnated but chose to possess me, so I killed him.
But killing a great Tao realm entity isn't fun, no reward.
The three ancestors sighed, seemingly for Jean Lei.
So you should know how important choices are. Choose wrong, and even a great Tao realm will die.
Lin Moyu said.
That's old news. Let's not dwell on it. What do you need from me this time?
The three ancestors said.
You haven't forgotten, have you? You promised to do something for us after becoming a Tao sovereign.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I haven't forgotten. Go ahead.
Before the three ancestors could speak, Lin Moyu frowned and took out a fist-sized pearl. The pearl from the Sea of Worlds was shining brightly. 2910 2910. Chapter 2910. Asen and Old Hay. In the Sea of Worlds, there are countless pearls which can be used like jade tokens to record a large amount of information. At the same time, pearls can also be refined into magical treasures to achieve various functions. The pearl in Lin Moyu's hand was given by the King of the Sea of Worlds. The voice of the King of the Sea of Worlds came from the pearl.
Lin Xiaoyu, you have become a Tao sovereign, and you promised me something. It's time to fulfill your promise.
When the pearl started to react, Lin Moyu knew the King of the Sea of Worlds' intention. Besides this matter, there would be nothing else. Lin Moyu said,
Honorable King of the Sea of Worlds, I will definitely do what I promise you, but there is a situation now.
The voice of the King of the Sea of Worlds carried no emotion.
What is it?
Before Lin Moyu could speak, the voice of the three ancestors came from the formation.
Old Hay, it's me.
The three ancestors directly called the King of the Sea of Worlds.
Old Hay.
Indicating that they knew each other well. The King of the Sea of Worlds was obviously a bit surprised.
Asen, so you are here too.
The three ancestors' voice suddenly rose by 8 degrees.
I've told you many times, don't call me Asen.
The King of the Sea of Worlds responded.
Okay, Asen, I'll be careful in the future and try to call you that less.
The three ancestors' heavy breathing could be heard, clearly unhappy and not believing the King of the Sea of Worlds' words. Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh quietly. The image of the three ancestors in his memory had changed a bit. Now, looking at it, the three ancestors who were called Asen seemed a bit amusing. The King of the Sea of Worlds' call of
Asen
had broken the three ancestors' composure. The three ancestors said in a low voice,
Old Hay, everything has a sequence.
The King of the Sea of Worlds said,
If I'm not mistaken, I was the first to talk to Lin Xiaoyu.
The three ancestors said,
That was before. Now I'm the first to find Lin Xiaoyu.
The King of the Sea of Worlds said,
We need to start counting from the beginning.
The three ancestors laughed.
The world changes so quickly. We must look at the present.
The King of the Sea of Worlds' tone became low and deep.
Asen, do you want to fight?
The three ancestors were not polite this time.
Hey, if you want to fight, I'll accompany you.
The King of the Sea of Worlds didn't back down.
Come on, let's see how we fight.
Lin Moyu watched this drama unfold while drinking tea. The two top existences of the origin continent seemed about to fight. At some point, Lin Moyu had a handful of sunflower seeds in his hand, crunching them as he watched. Unfortunately, the two didn't actually fight, and it ended up being just a war of words, a long-distance war of words. Lin Moyu was speechless.
You two are elders. Just fight already. Stop dawdling.
The three ancestors shouted.
What do you know?
The King of the Sea of Worlds also said.
You don't understand, Aeson is unreasonable.
The three ancestors retorted.
You, hey, are no better.
The two had another round of verbal sparring, but still didn't fight. Lin Moyu finished his sunflower seeds and was tired of listening.
All right, my two seniors, I have an idea. Why don't you listen to me? Speak.
The three ancestors and the king of the Sea of Worlds said simultaneously. They both knew arguing wouldn't solve anything, so they accepted Lin Moyu's suggestion. Lin Moyu said,
Why don't you both tell me what you want me to do, in detail, and I'll decide which one to do first.
After a moment of silence, the three ancestors said,
All right, you decide.
The king of the Sea of Worlds also said in a low voice,
I'll go first.
The three ancestors said,
Suit yourself.
It didn't matter who went first, and since the king of the Sea of Worlds wanted to go first, the three ancestors didn't bother to argue. The king of the Sea of Worlds said,
In the Sea of Worlds between the East Continent and the North Continent, about 1.2 million meters deep, there is a special space. I want you to go into that special space and bring something back for me. Only those at Dao Sovereign First and Second Realm can enter that special space.
Lin Moyu asked,
What exactly is it?
The king of the Sea of Worlds said,
A heart, which may have petrified. You'll need to find it in the space.
Lin Moyu frowned.
Is that space similar to a secret realm?
The king of the Sea of Worlds shook his head.
It's a bit different from a secret realm, but I don't know the specifics because I've never been inside.
Lin Moyu quickly understood the implication of the king of the Sea of Worlds' words.
You've never been inside, so what happened to those who went in before?
The king of the Sea of Worlds said.
None of them came back.
Lin Moyu said.
So it's very dangerous in there?
The king of the Sea of Worlds said.
It should be dangerous, but not too dangerous. I've used various methods to explore and suppress that space, and the danger has been greatly reduced. That space can no longer withstand power beyond Dao Sovereign's Second Realm, so only those at Dao Sovereign First and Second Realm can enter.
Lin Moyu had a rough understanding by now. The king of the Sea of Worlds didn't really know the situation inside. He had suppressed that space with his power for countless years, making it weaker. Lin Moyu didn't know what methods the king of the Sea of Worlds used, but they were likely not ordinary. Also, in that space, one couldn't use methods like the giant sword Dao Sovereign. All power beyond Dao Sovereign's Second Realm would be restricted. Even if he brought the giant sword Dao Sovereign in, it could only exert power up to Dao Sovereign's Second Realm. But even so, none of the Dao Sovereign's Second Realm sea creatures who went in before came back alive. This indicated that the danger inside might not be related to power. Lin Moyu asked a few more questions before ending the conversation with the king of the Sea of Worlds. The king of the Sea of Worlds knew too little, and going into that space would be risky. But he had promised the king of the Sea of Worlds, so he would go even if it was dangerous. Lin Moyu was confident that as long as there was a chance, he could survive. The three ancestors laughed.
I told you this old hay is unreliable. Doesn't even know where to go.
Lin Moyu asked.
Three ancestors, tell me where you want me to go.
The three ancestors said.
The place I want you to go is simple. In the North Continent, there's a secret realm similar to the Thunder Shock secret realm. Back then, an extraterrestrial god was trapped inside, probably half dead. You go in, kill it, and bring back the thing imprisoning it.
Lin Moyu thought the three ancestors would say something more specific, but it was even more vague. Lin Moyu asked.
Three ancestors, can you be more specific?
The three ancestors said.
Isn't that detailed enough?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
Not enough. For example, what's the situation in this secret realm? Which great Tao controls it? How was it formed? You haven't told me any of this.
The three ancestors said.
The secret realm was created by that thing, and the extraterrestrial god was trapped by it. Due to restrictions, those above Dao's sovereign seventh realm can't enter.
Lin Moyu asked.
What about those below Dao's sovereign seventh realm?
The three ancestors said.
A few have gone in and come back, but...
Lin Moyu immediately asked.
But what?
The three ancestors said.
But it's strange, they can't remember what happened inside the secret realm. But they all came back safely, uninjured.
Lin Moyu was skeptical.
Uninjured but can't remember what happened in the secret realm. Was their memory erased?
The three ancestors said.
No, I checked, their memory is fine. So strange.
2911 2911. Chapter 2911. Danger is not scary. The unknown is. After hearing the descriptions from the King of the Sea of Worlds and the three ancestors, Lin Moyu was actually more interested in the secret realm mentioned by the three ancestors. There was an extraterrestrial god in the secret realm, and after killing it, he could obtain great Tao rewards. After condensing enough Tao patterns, he could advance to Tao Sovereign Second Realm. But at the same time, Lin Moyu was also worried. Those who had gone in before all returned safely, but their memories were problematic. The three ancestors said their souls were fine, and Lin Moyu believed him. With the three ancestors' ability, if there was a problem with the soul, he would definitely detect it. But if the soul was fine yet the memories were erased, it was very puzzling. At least based on Lin Moyu's current understanding of souls, this situation shouldn't be possible. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and asked,
Has Senior Xiaoho checked?
The three ancestors said,
He has, and he didn't find any problems either.
Xiaoho Yuan cultivated the soul great Tao. If even he couldn't see any problems, then there probably weren't any. Lin Moyu was still uneasy.
Three ancestors, among those who went in and came back, were there any Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm?
The three ancestors paused, not speaking for a moment. Lin Moyu's heart sank. The three ancestors' silence had already told him the answer. None of these people had advanced to Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm. Certainly, advancing to Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm wasn't easy. One could say that out of 100 Tao Sovereign Sixth Realm, it would be hard for even one to advance. But with the Lu Feng Merchant Guild's resources and fortune, for not even one to advance to Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm was strange. At this point, the King of the Sea of Worlds laughed.
I knew Ace inside must have problems.
The three ancestors said irritably.
Shut up.
His tone changed as he said softly.
This is my oversight. Over several thousand years, a total of 160 Tao Sovereign Sixth Realm went in, and none of them became Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm afterwards. From 8th Realm to 7th Realm, it's not impossible. I was indeed careless.
Lin Moyu was now certain that the secret realm must have issues, but he didn't know exactly what, and neither did the three ancestors. Going in rashly without knowing was quite dangerous. After some thought and consideration, Lin Moyu made a decision.
Three ancestors, how about this? Since you said anyone below Tao Sovereign Seventh Realm can enter that secret realm. You've waited so many years, there's no need to rush now. Why don't you try to investigate further, see what exactly happened to those Tao Sovereigns? It's too much of a waste for 160 Tao Sovereign Sixth Realm to have their futures ruined like this.
The three ancestors understood Lin Moyu's words and could guess his concerns. Which cultivator doesn't value their future above all else? Especially for a genius like Lin Moyu, if one day he was told he would be stuck at his current level for life, it would probably feel worse than death. So it made sense that Lin Moyu didn't want to go in before understanding why this was happening. As for the space mentioned by the King of the Sea of Worlds, although it was dangerous, Lin Moyu had always walked on the edge of danger and wasn't as afraid. The three ancestors wasn't one to hesitate.
If that's the case, I'll investigate more thoroughly. You go help Old Hay first.
The King of the Sea of Worlds laughed.
That's more like it. I'll come find you for a drink another day.
The three ancestors snorted.
No need, your wine tastes like the sea.
The King of the Sea of Worlds scoffed.
Drink it or not, it's up to you. Lin Xiaoyu, I'll send someone to pick you up. Put the pearl outside, I need to locate you.
Lin Moyu nodded.
All right, I'll wait for you.
The pearl's luster gradually faded as the king of the Sea of Worlds left. The three ancestors' voice sounded.
Lin boy, be careful. If things go wrong, it's okay to give up. I'll help you deal with Old Hay's side.
Lin Moyu said.
Don't worry, three ancestors, I value my life. I hope the three ancestors can find the root of the problem, so I can go with more peace of mind.
The three ancestors said.
I'll investigate, but if I can't find anything, will you still go?
Lin Moyu took a sip of tea.
Of course I'll go. I take my promises seriously and will definitely fulfill what I've agreed to.
The three ancestors seemed very satisfied with Lin Moyu's words.
Rest assured, I will do my utmost to investigate thoroughly.
After saying this, the formation retracted, and the three ancestors had left. Lin Moyu gently tapped the tea table.
If even the three ancestors can't figure it out, that's really troublesome. The king of the Sea of Worlds side is also a problem. We know too little information. A heart. What kind of heart is it exactly? This space has been restricted to Tao's sovereign second realm, so that heart must also be restricted. A Tao sovereign second realm heart, what use could it have? I wonder what the king of the Sea of Worlds and the three ancestors are really planning. These two are not simple. Human Emperor, what do you think?
The human emperor's voice sounded.
Your choice is correct. It's not suitable to go before the three ancestors clarify the situation in that secret realm. Danger is not scary, the unknown is.
Lin Moyu chuckled.
Indeed, let's hope the three ancestors can find some results.
The human emperor said.
The chances are slim. Most likely there will be no results.
Lin Moyu sighed. He knew that, in the end, he would have to take the risk himself. But because of his promise, and for the sake of the great Tao reward from killing the extraterrestrial god, taking a risk wasn't out of the question. After thinking for a while, Lin Moyu withdrew his power, and the hall reopened. Lu Shui walked in and saw the formation disc on the ground and sunflower seed shells everywhere. She looked puzzled. Did Lin Moyu talk to the three ancestors while eating sunflower seeds? This didn't seem like a conversation, but more like casual chatting. From what she saw, it could only mean that Lin Moyu's relationship with the three ancestors was extraordinary. Lu Shui picked up the formation disc.
City Lord Lin, have you finished talking with the three ancestors?
Lin Moyu roughly knew what Lu Shui was thinking.
We've finished. If Miss Lu has nothing else, you can go back now.
Lu Shui didn't ask what they talked about. It wasn't something she should know. After she left with the formation disc, Lin Moyu's figure disappeared. The next second, Lin Moyu was in his own courtyard. Compared to the city lord's mansion, his own courtyard was more comfortable. Xiaowu and Xiaowu were playing. Xiaosan was lying nearby, cultivating with energy flowing through its body. Xiaoye was also cultivating, comprehending the other shore realm. The aura of the other shore realm was gradually rising from her body. She was getting closer and closer to it. When Lin Moyu returned, Xiaoye immediately woke up and sweetly said,
Master, you're back.
Lin Moyu nodded and took out several bottles to give to Xiaoye.
Keep these tree saps safe. Take one drop every day, don't forget.
Xiaoye took the bottles and realized Lin Moyu's meaning.
Master, are you leaving again?
Lin Moyu nodded.
There are some things I need to deal with.
Xiaoye asked.
How long will Master be gone this time?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I'm not sure yet, but I'll try to come back soon. By the time I return, Xiaoye should have reached the other shore realm. Come, let me tell you some things to pay attention to in the other shore realm.
2912, 2912. Chapter 2912. Unexpectedly returning after many years. For the next few days, Lin Moyu stayed in his own courtyard, not going anywhere. He explained some things to note about the other shore realm to Xiaoye, while also playing with Xiaowu and Xiaowu. Xiaosan was getting closer to the Tao Sovereign Fourth Realm, and Lin Moyu estimated it could advance within a year. This rapid advancement was inseparable from his lectures and long-term consumption of silver tree sap. There was plenty of silver tree sap, and Lin Moyu left a lot here. Everyone had to take a drop every day. 5 days later, the human emperor sent a message to Lin Moyu that the king of the Sea of Worlds people had arrived. Lin Moyu left Yudao City and teleported directly to the location given by the human emperor. Outside the Nine Heavens Thunder Formation Array, a huge flying fish about 1,000 meters long and over 20 meters thick was floating in midair. This flying fish had a slender head with a sharp spike like an arrow. The aura it emitted exceeded Dao Sovereign's 6th realm, at least reaching Dao Sovereign's 7th realm. Lin Moyu had no information about the subordinates of the King of the Sea of Worlds. The materials bought from the Lu Feng Merchant Guild didn't contain information about sea races. So Lin Moyu didn't know the other party's identity, only that it was fishy. It didn't enter the formation array but stopped outside, waiting quietly. Lin Moyu flew over and cupped his hands.
Lin Moyu greets the senior.
The arrowfish's voice was slightly shrill.
No need for such formalities. Just call me Flying Arrow. Come up onto my back.
It seemed to have no airs, very casual. Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony and flew onto its back. Flying Arrow said,
Hold on tight. I'm about to depart.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I'm already seated firmly.
In an instant, lightning flashed and thunder roared. Flying Arrow's body was wrapped in lightning. A great Dao appeared, and it seemed to turn into a bolt of lightning. Lin Moyu didn't expect it to use its great Dao true body. Was it necessary to use the great Dao true body just for travel? But soon after, Lin Moyu understood why it was necessary. The lightning streaked across the sky, and when Lin Moyu looked back, Yudao City was no longer in sight. Flying Arrow's speed was ridiculously fast, so fast that Lin Moyu couldn't tell exactly how fast. In his view, everything on the ground was receding. But sitting on Flying Arrow's back was very stable, without any jolts. Lin Moyu felt Flying Arrow's great Dao true body was somewhat different and asked,
Senior Flying Arrow, is this the great Dao true body of Dao Sovereign's 7th realm?
Flying Arrow said,
Yes, doesn't it feel different from Dao Sovereign's 6th realm?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, it is indeed different.
Flying Arrow said,
Dao Sovereign's 7th realm uses the soul to drive the great Dao, unifying soul and Dao, to truly exert the power of the heavenly Dao true body.
Lin Moyu knew that normal cultivators on the origin continent didn't utilize or actively condense Dao patterns after they appeared in their bodies. Those Dao patterns were useless to them. But looking at Flying Arrow's situation, it was different. Lin Moyu could feel the power of Dao patterns on Flying Arrow. Lin Moyu had encountered Dao Sovereign's 7th realm experts from various forces in the secret realm and fought alongside them, clearly feeling the difference. A thought suddenly occurred to him. Could it be that the prehistoric inheritance hadn't been lost among the sea races? Lin Moyu tentatively asked.
Senior, how many Dao patterns did you use to fuse with your great Dao true body?
Flying Arrow said,
3. I have few Dao patterns. Using 3 is already very extravagant. If you have more Dao patterns, use more, the effect will be better.
Lin Moyu thought to himself.
As expected, the method of cultivating Dao patterns hasn't been lost among the sea races.
He then heard Flying Arrow continue.
The cultivation method of condensing Dao patterns and using them as a path was lost long ago on the origin continent. Even among us sea races, only a very few still use it.
Lin Moyu was stunned and blurted out.
Why?
Flying Arrow said,
For the specific reason, you'd have to ask the great king. We're not very clear. Only with the king's permission can we condense Dao patterns.
Lin Moyu was shocked, realizing that the reason the correct cultivation method was lost on the origin continent had deeper reasons, not as simple as it appeared on the surface. That's why when he obtained this correct cultivation method, the 3 ancestors told him not to spread it. Lin Moyu chatted casually with Flying Arrow. Although Flying Arrow's realm was high, it was easy to talk to. Flying Arrow's Great Dao was also the Thunder Great Dao, but it followed a branch called the Wind Thunder Great Dao. This Great Dao's most powerful aspect was speed. Its speed was faster than many Dao Sovereign 9th Realm cultivators. This was proven by the fact that in just over 2 days, it had flown out of the East Continent. At this speed, the world seemed to have shrunk considerably. If Lin Moyu were to fly himself using the Origin shuttle, it would take over 100 days to fly out of the East continent. Moreover, the faster the speed, the safer it was, as most spirit beasts couldn't catch up. The Sea of Worlds was vast, even more so than the East continent. Flying Arrow told him they would fly over the Sea of Worlds for 2 days. And these 2 days were just about 1/10 of the distance from the East continent to the North continent. Even at Flying Arrow's speed, it would take about 20 days to fly from the East continent to the North continent. Lin Moyu thought of Xiaowu, how great her willpower and courage must have been to dare to cross the Sea of Worlds from the North continent to the East continent to find him, with only Dao Sovereign First Realm strength. Although she used the causality Great Dao to plant a fruit, thinking carefully, it only increased the success rate. If encountering a truly powerful enemy, the planted fruit might not fully materialize. This is what Xiaowu later told Lin Moyu. Their planting fruits to gain causes wasn't guaranteed to succeed. Sometimes it would fail. And this failure, even they wouldn't feel it until the moment of failure, when they would realize that this time their planted fruit had failed. So, Xiaowu took a huge risk crossing the boundless Sea of Worlds from the North continent to the East continent. The causality Great Dao wasn't as simple as imagined. The future is constantly changing, and even the unreasonable causality Great Dao is sometimes helpless. And luck would also affect fate. Fate, causality, and luck influenced each other, intertwining to determine the final direction of the future. This situation was too complex, and Lin Moyu thought of the power Great Dao. Compared to the extreme complexity of the luck Great Dao, the power Great Dao presented extreme simplicity. One force breaks all methods, regardless of origin or calamity, breaking through with sheer force, just that simple. Lin Moyu suddenly had a realization. In this world, nothing is truly certain. As long as one's power is strong enough, all difficulties can be overcome. As long as one's fist is hard enough, everything standing in the way is like clay chickens and pottery dogs. Thinking of what Bai Yuan once said, Lin Moyu felt it was exactly right, just such a simple principle. 2 days after entering the Sea of Worlds, Flying Arrow shouted,
"Hold on tight."
It suddenly plunged downward, diving into the Sea of Worlds. The aura of the Sea of Worlds surged from all directions, and this familiar feeling reminded Lin Moyu of his past experiences. He had once fished in the Sea of Worlds for a long time. Unexpectedly, after many years, he had returned. 2913 Chapter 2913 Problems in the Underwater World. Flying Arrow dove down like lightning, its speed not decreasing at all. Outside the lightning was fierce wind, cutting through the seawater like blades, forming a huge channel. Lin Moyu saw countless Sea of Worlds creatures affected by Flying Arrow's Great Dao power, spinning in the water. These creatures, not even at the other shore realm, had no rights, not even qualified to complain. The world in the Sea of Worlds perfectly exemplified survival of the fittest. As Flying Arrow continued to descend, the Sea of Worlds grew darker, and the realms of the creatures kept increasing. Other shore, Saint Sovereign, Supreme Sovereign all appeared. When Heavenly Sovereign realm creatures appeared, Lin Moyu knew the depth had exceeded 500,000 meters. The creatures in the Sea of Worlds were strange, classified not only by realm but also by intelligence. Intelligent creatures weren't necessarily high in realm, and high realm creatures weren't necessarily intelligent. Those with high realms but no intelligence were more like spirit beasts, not true sea races. Only when they developed intelligence could they truly enter the great family of sea races. Lin Moyu saw many heavenly sovereign realm creatures of all kinds. If all these creatures had intelligence, the sea races would become terrifying. After all, the number of sea races far exceeded any other race. Even if all races of the origin continent were combined, they still wouldn't match the sea races in pure numbers. So the Great Dao is fair. With absolute numerical advantage, intelligence correspondingly weakens. In the deep sea, light had long disappeared, but gradually, Lin Moyu saw a blue glow appearing ahead. The light was like ribbons, interweaving and spreading throughout the entire underwater world. Flying Arrow spoke.
This light comes from a kind of blue seagrass, spread throughout the Sea of Worlds, living in areas 1 million meters below the surface.
Lin Moyu asked.
Is this also a sea race creature?
Flying Arrow replied.
No, they're a type of plant, without intelligence.
Lin Moyu sensed the light from the blue seagrass.
I can feel they have a peculiar power.
Flying Arrow said.
That's right, their power is peculiar. In terms of realm, they're not very high, just our sovereign first realm, but they're not to be trifled with.
As he spoke, Flying Arrow's speed rapidly decreased, becoming slower and slower. The great Tao true body was still active, but its area of influence sharply reduced, seeming to become cautious, no longer as reckless as before. Flying Arrow explained.
Although I don't care about the blue seagrass, it's unnecessary trouble, not worth it. The blue seagrass is also the dividing line for the 1 million meter zone. Below them, most creatures are Tao's sovereigns. As the depth continues to increase, strength will also increase accordingly.
Lin Moyu asked.
How deep is the Sea of Worlds exactly?
Flying Arrow didn't answer immediately, only saying after a few seconds.
Very deep.
Lin Moyu continued with a curious tone.
You haven't been to the bottom?
Flying Arrow said.
I have, but couldn't reach the very bottom. It's too dangerous down there. Perhaps only the great king has truly gone down and knows the situation below. If you want to know, you can ask the king yourself.
The Sea of Worlds was so deep that even this Tao sovereign 7th realm being didn't know, and even it said it was too dangerous, making Lin Moyu very curious. Flying Arrow said softly.
All right, we're about to pass through the blue seagrass. Don't make any noise.
Lin Moyu suppressed his aura, and Flying Arrow's aura also reduced to the minimum. The blue seagrass intertwined, forming a net-like structure with holes, which they needed to pass through. Flying Arrow's speed reduced to the minimum, emitting no aura, passing through silently. Throughout the process, Flying Arrow was very careful, clearly not wanting to provoke the blue seagrass. The aura emitted by the blue seagrass was only Tao's sovereign first realm, but they were endless, with no visible end. Based on Lin Moyu's understanding of plant-based creatures, if provoked, the endless blue seagrass would likely converge instantly, which would indeed be troublesome. The key was that fighting them had no benefits. Lin Moyu didn't take the blue seagrass seriously. Though they were numerous, his undead legion was also considerable, and of higher realm and stronger power. However, he didn't want to do anything without benefit. Flying Arrow carried Lin Moyu through the blue seagrass group, then accelerated again, heading towards their destination. As the blue glow gradually faded, Lin Moyu could feel that the power of the Sea of Worlds here had become extremely strong. Powerful forces pressed in from all directions. Heavenly sovereigns could barely survive here, so this was a world belonging to Tao sovereigns. Lin Moyu saw some Tao sovereign realm Sea of Worlds creatures, though not as numerous as the heavenly sovereigns. This was logical. The higher the realm, the fewer the numbers. When they reached 1.1 million meters, the light from the blue seagrass had completely disappeared, and the world returned to darkness. The only light came from Flying Arrow's great Tao true body. After descending another 100,000 meters, they finally reached their destination. At a depth of 1.2 million meters in the Sea of Worlds, a huge figure floated. It was an incredibly large octopus, with 8 tentacles each 10,000 meters long, drifting freely in the Sea of Worlds. Under its massive body was a slowly rotating whirlpool. Lin Moyu sensed a world-destroying power from the octopus.
This is a Tao's sovereign 9th realm being.
Lin Moyu was awed. The power from the octopus was very close to Xiahou Yuan's. Flying Arrow approached the octopus's head, showing some respect.
Marshal Zhang, Lin Daoyu has arrived.
A giant eye appeared on Marshal Zhang's enormous head, flashing blue light as it looked at Lin Moyu.
Lin Daoyu, this marshal welcomes you on the king's orders.
His tone was very polite, without the aura of a Tao sovereign 9th realm, treating Lin Moyu as an equal. Lin Moyu stood up from Flying Arrow's back and saluted Marshal Zhang.
Lin Moyu greets Marshal Zhang, Thank you for your trouble.
The water in front of Marshal Zhang distorted slightly, and a pearl appeared. The pearl flew into Lin Moyu's hand.
All information about this space is inside, including words the king wants to tell you.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly, activating the pearl with his soul, immediately receiving all information about this space. At the same time, the King of the Sea of Worlds' voice sounded in his mind.
Lin Xiaoyu, there are some problems in the underwater world, and I cannot personally send you in. Detailed information is in the pearl. If things go wrong, don't force it. Safety first. I absolutely won't blame you. If you can successfully bring back the heart, I will greatly reward you.
The King of the Sea of Worlds' words were simple, without any twists, explaining everything in 2 or 3 sentences. But Lin Moyu still heard some implications. First, the King of the Sea of Worlds said there were some problems in the underwater world. This indicated that the Sea of Worlds had a bottom, and there was another world at the bottom. The problems in the underwater world were not small, requiring his personal intervention to solve. Second, this space was indeed dangerous, and it didn't matter if he couldn't retrieve the heart, as staying alive was the priority. In the King of the Sea of Worlds' eyes, Lin Moyu's life was more important than the heart. In other words, he was more unwilling for Lin Moyu to die. 2914 Chapter 29:14. Didn't even enter and already dead. In Lin Moyu's view, the King of the Boundary Sea doesn't want him to die inside, not because he cares about his life, but because if Lin Moyu dies, the king won't survive either. Reflecting on the past, the King of the Boundary Sea sent world-class origin crystals only after the arrival of the Elder in the green robe, as a gesture to the Elder. Without the Elder's influence, Lin Moyu, a nobody, wouldn't have been given any regard by the king. Is being a genius enough? There are many geniuses in the world, and Lin Moyu never boasts. After reviewing the information in the pearl, Lin Moyu said to Marshal Zhang,
Then I'll go in.
Marshal Zhang nodded.
I'll wait here. Carry this pearl with you. If you die, I'll sense it. As long as you're alive, no matter how many years, I'll wait here.
As he spoke, his tentacles spread out, opening a waterway leading to a special space. Lin Moyu smiled.
Marshal, please close the waterway. Let me see how much pressure the water of the Boundary Sea has.
Marshal Zhang looked at Lin Moyu with a hint of hesitation.
It's 1.2 million meters deep here. The pressure of the Boundary Sea is hard to withstand even for a Dao sovereign of the third realm. Are you sure you want to try?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Let's give it a try. As you wish.
Marshal Zhang gathered the separated seawater again, ensuring Lin Moyu's safety. Lin Moyu left the protection area of the flying arrow and truly entered the Boundary Sea. Boom! A roaring sound filled his ears as immense pressure swept in from all directions. This was the squeezing force from the Boundary Sea, containing the power of the Great Tao, like countless fists continuously hitting him. The sensation was extremely intense. If it were a heavenly sovereign, their body would collapse instantly, and their soul would be crushed by the pressure of the Boundary Sea's water. The undying golden body instinctively activated, golden flames flowing, firmly blocking the Boundary Sea's water. As his physical strength increased, the undying golden body grew stronger. Although Lin Moyu's realm was only Dao Sovereign First Realm, he could withstand the pressure of the Boundary Sea's water with the undying golden body. Seeing Lin Moyu unharmed, Marshal Zhang seemed relieved. But in the next second, the golden flames on Lin Moyu's body suddenly disappeared. Lin Moyu voluntarily withdrew the undying golden body, using pure physical strength to resist the pressure. His blood roared. The power of the Great Tao merged into his blood and body, resisting the pressure. Lin Moyu quietly felt the pressure from all directions, like countless hammers continuously forging his body. Compared to the thunder in the secret thunder treasury, it was similar in effect. This pure physical pressure could make the body stronger. Lin Moyu's eyes shone as he found another way to strengthen his body, a slight smile appearing on his lips. Marshal Zhang also showed surprise. seeing Lin Moyu withstand the boundary sea's pressure with just his body. This was a 1.2 million meters deep sea, with immense pressure, indicating that Lin Moyu, although only Dao Sovereign First Realm, had a physical strength reaching or even surpassing the Dao Sovereign Main Realm. After adapting for a while, Lin Moyu had an idea, but he needed to bring back his heart before he could express it. Lin Moyu swam towards the special space, which was like a vortex, slowly rotating. As it rotated, it caused the surrounding seawater to rotate with it. This reminded Lin Moyu of the dungeon entrance in the small world, which was also a vortex very similar to this. Just before entering, Marshal Zhang kindly reminded,
Please be careful.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly and entered. The moment Lin Moyu entered, the vortex's rotation speed suddenly increased, but quickly returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. Lin Moyu felt the change in the vortex. The suddenly accelerated rotation brought a strong spinning force, pushing him forward. This force was strong, giving no chance to resist. Lin Moyu could feel himself spinning rapidly, flying towards the depths of the vortex. Around him, there was still a lot of boundary sea water. During the rotation, the boundary sea water was thrown to the edges, and the surroundings gradually became dry. Suddenly, a huge force came head-on.
Damn it.
Lin Moyu's expression changed dramatically, and his clothes were instantly torn to pieces. This force was also spinning violently, but in the opposite direction of the vortex. One positive and one negative, the two spinning forces fell on him, forming a tearing force, as if to tear Lin Moyu to pieces. The undying golden body activated, golden flames enveloping his body. His blood roared, pushing the power of the great Tao, strengthening his body. With both methods, Lin Moyu's physical defense reached its limit, resisting the tearing force. The tearing force was too great, almost tearing the undying body to pieces. This force was stronger than the pressure in the boundary sea, unsuitable for body training. Lin Moyu felt that even a Dao Sovereign Third Realm would be torn to pieces here. This special space had restrictions on the realm of entrance. The strongest allowed was Dao Sovereign Second Realm. If the body wasn't strong enough, one would die before truly entering the special space. Lin Moyu even suspected that most of those who entered before died here, never entering the special space. The light of the undying golden body gradually dimmed, unable to withstand the terrible tearing force for long. Finally, the undying golden body collapsed. His blood roared loudly, and his physical strength reached its peak. The power of the great Tao hidden in his blood constantly weakened the damage. Lin Moyu's passive spells also worked, minimizing the tearing force's damage, then transferring it to the Undead Legion. After reaching the Dao Sovereign Realm, the Undead Legion's numbers greatly increased, meaning Lin Moyu's defense greatly strengthened. As long as the attack wasn't too strong, it was hard to hurt him. Finally, the tearing force subsided, and Lin Moyu returned to normal rotation, flying towards the depths of the space. What he saw made Lin Moyu realize his previous guess was correct. There were many pieces of flesh and blood spinning in the vortex. The pieces of flesh and blood emitted strong auras, all from Dao Sovereign Realm sea tribes. Those sea tribes that entered before never truly entered the space and died here. It was somewhat laughable and sad, achieving Dao Sovereign only to die here for no reason. At the same time, Lin Moyu became vigilant, knowing that if even the entrance was this dangerous, the special space inside must be even more so. The light gradually brightened, and Lin Moyu felt a movement in his heart.
It's the exit.
In the next moment, he shot out like a cannonball from the exit, rushing towards the ground. 2915. Chapter 29:15. The Suppressed Space, Gray Wind. As Lin Moyu's body was completely out of control, he shot across the sky like a cannonball, diving toward the ground at an angle. During the dive, Lin Moyu saw the ground filled with shattered flesh and blood. These were the corpses of Dao sovereigns from the sea tribes, and there were many of them. Sea tribe Dao sovereigns often had enormous bodies, sometimes thousands of meters long, and once they died, they left behind a large number of corpses. Moreover, The corpses of Tao sovereigns would not decay for millions of years, accumulating over time into a mountain.
How many Tao sovereigns did the king of the Boundary Sea send in? What a pity, so many Tao sovereigns died in vain.
Lin Moyu felt regret for these Tao sovereigns. There were at least thousands of them here. As he continued his dive, just before hitting the ground, Lin Moyu finally regained control of his body. Looking back, he realized he had flown tens of thousands of meters. The rotating force was strong, containing some kind of great Tao power that temporarily made one lose control of their body. In the sky, there were two vortices. The two vortices rotated in opposite directions, and Lin Moyu knew that besides the one he entered, the other vortex was the exit of this special space. As long as he entered it and withstood the tearing force of the vortex, he could leave here. Having confirmed the exit's location, Lin Moyu felt reassured, knowing he wouldn't be trapped inside. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt a slight itch on his forehead, and the hidden red sun silk rope naturally fell down. The red sun silk rope, originally hidden and connected to the sunstone, hadn't changed in many years. The sunstone would automatically replenish itself through the sun's origin. So Lin Moyu hadn't removed the silk rope for many years. With the red sun silk rope, he had never worried about anyone discovering his identity as the son of the moon. But now, the red sun silk rope suddenly appeared and fell from his forehead. Looking at the red sun silk rope, Lin Moyu found it seemed to be in some kind of dormant state, unable to be used.
This special space restricts everything above Tao Sovereign's second realm, including the red sun silk rope. It seems that the giant sword Tao Sovereign and Zhao Dongxing are also useless.
Lin Moyu tried to summon the giant sword Tao Sovereign, but an invisible force stopped him, preventing him from summoning the giant sword Tao Sovereign. This force was high-level and mysterious. After several attempts, Lin Moyu ultimately failed. He wasn't unwilling. Rather, during his attempts, Lin Moyu was comprehending the mysterious force that was blocking him. After trying, Lin Moyu silently gave up. This force was powerful not in strength but in essence. It came from the Great Tao and was extremely pure. Only those at the Great Tao realm could mobilize such pure power. With his strength, he couldn't oppose the Great Tao realm's power. The essence was different. Even if his strength was greater, it wouldn't work. Lin Moyu murmured to himself,
The king of the Boundary Sea has been weakening this special space over the years, weakening this great Tao power. Since the giant sword Tao Sovereign and others are unusable, what about the Skeleton King?
The Skeleton King was already at Tao Sovereign Third Realm, and according to the rules, it couldn't be used here either. Lin Moyu released a ball of flame, and the skeleton throne appeared in the flame. But in the next second, the skeleton throne collapsed in the flame. That mysterious force prevented the Skeleton King from appearing.
Really leaving no room for error.
Lin Moyu sighed inwardly. For a moment, he couldn't find a way to break through. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry to explore and first tried his spells. Apart from the Skeleton King and Giant Sword Tao Sovereign, other spells could still be used. Lin Moyu was glad he chose to come here first. If he had waited until he reached Tao Sovereign's second realm, the entire Undead Legion might have been unusable. In the next moment, a large number of skeleton generals flew in all directions, paving the way for Lin Moyu. The skeleton generals were at Tao Sovereign's second realm and were not restricted by the space, able to move freely here. Looking around, Lin Moyu saw that besides the mountain of bones, the surroundings were barren. Everywhere was barren stone ground, with cracks on the ground that were shocking to see.
No wonder the king of the Boundary Sea said the heart might have petrified.
The skeleton generals flew into the distance, and everywhere they went was barren stone ground, devoid of life. It seemed that besides the initial danger upon entering, there was no danger within the space. The skeleton generals quickly explored an area of 100,000 kilometers, yet still found nothing. Lin Moyu felt increasingly uneasy. This situation was unlike anything he had encountered before.
Did I miss something?
Lin Moyu pondered, replaying every detail from entering the space to now in his mind. After recalling it several times, Lin Moyu finally realized he had overlooked an important piece of information. Although on the surface, every direction seemed the same. Besides barren stone ground, there was nothing else, but upon closer inspection, the barren stone ground actually had differences. The difference lay in the cracks on the ground. The cracks were not the same. Some were thick, some thin, some long, some short, some deep, some shallow. The cracks were distributed on the ground in a disorderly structure. At first glance, it seemed fine, but upon closer inspection, one direction showed a trend of widening cracks. However, this trend was not obvious. Over 10,000 kilometers, the width of the cracks increased by less than 10 centimeters compared to the initial position. With 10,000 kilometers as the boundary, this slight change was very small and extremely subtle. But when there was no change in other directions and only one direction showed change, Lin Moyu noticed it. Lin Moyu continued comparing in the distance, and the farther he went, the larger the cracks in this direction became, while the cracks in other directions remained in a chaotic state. After discovering this, Lin Moyu had a direction. He let the skeleton generals continue forward in this direction, leaving a few skeleton generals behind, and followed himself. Seeing the cracks gradually widen with the naked eye was clearer and more spectacular than seeing them with the undead eye of the skeleton generals. After flying 100,000 kilometers, each crack was over a meter wide, and from above, they looked like countless giant worms moving across the ground, leaving behind so many cracks. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt a wave of power coming from afar, followed by a gust of gray wind blowing from the cracks, sweeping through the entire space. 2916 Chapter 2916. Dying until you're used to it. The wind speed was too fast. By the time Lin Moyu felt it, it was already too late. The ubiquitous wind blew over him. The undying golden body automatically activated but extinguished in an instant. His blood roared, but the sound was quickly silenced. As his body resisted, the skeleton generals turned gray, falling from the sky and shattering on the ground, some disappearing into the cracks.
They're dead.
Lin Moyu's heart trembled. The skeleton generals died just like that, with the undying spirits having no effect. Next, his blood was destroyed, and his body turned gray, crashing to the ground. Bang! His body shattered into pieces, becoming piles of barren stones. A purple light flashed, rebirth initiated, and Lin Moyu revived again. After reviving, Lin Moyu's eyes showed a hint of trepidation.
What a strange wind.
The gray wind carried an inexplicable terrifying power, causing the skeleton generals to perish instantly, rendering the undying spirits useless. Moreover, this gray wasn't an ordinary attack. The undying golden body couldn't block it, and damage transfer was ineffective. It wasn't damage, so damage transfer couldn't pass it to the undead legion. In Lin Moyu's perception, the gray wind was a fundamental change. It directly turned his body into stone, incredibly domineering. Lin Moyu stood on the barren stones. The wind had blown from the cracks, but not all areas were affected, leaving room to dodge.
Luckily, I have rebirth. Otherwise, I'd be dead. Given the sea tribe's size, it's hard to avoid. Most Dao sovereigns who came here likely couldn't escape.
Lin Moyu felt fortunate to be human, with a not too large body. Suddenly, Lin Moyu thought of something, realizing it was bad. A gust of wind blew, and the skeleton generals he had sent out were 99% dead. Even those left at the exit for positioning were killed by the wind. Without positioning, returning would be much more troublesome. Looking down at the ground,
If I want to go back, I'll have to use it for positioning.
without the skeleton generals, the cracks on the ground became the best positioning, provided they remained unchanged. In the soul world, he continued summoning skeleton generals and sent out many to explore. This time they didn't fly. The skeleton generals ran quickly on the ground, avoiding all the cracks. Crunch, crunch. The quiet barren ground echoed with the rhythmic sound of the skeleton generals. Lin Moyu followed behind the skeleton generals, advancing rapidly. The cracks grew wider, and the ground to stand on gradually diminished. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, sensing it wasn't a good sign. Suddenly, a sense of unease arose.
Stop!
With a thought, all the skeleton generals stopped simultaneously, standing still. A slight tremor came from beneath the ground, followed by countless gray winds shooting out from the cracks, like fountains rushing to the sky. This time, having sensed it in advance, all the skeleton generals, including himself, weren't standing on the cracks and narrowly avoided the gray wind.
There is a way to avoid it.
Just as this thought arose, the gray wind exploded in the air. In an instant, countless gray specks descended like dust. There was no way to dodge. Lin Moyu, with a hint of helplessness, endured the dust. The purple light shone, and Lin Moyu was reborn once more. In such a short time, he had died twice. How could anyone continue like this? Anyone else would have given up long ago. Lin Moyu now fully understood why even the powerful king of the Boundary Sea couldn't handle this space. No matter how he suppressed this space, this power was unreasonable. Lin Moyu had never encountered a situation where he couldn't find the root cause. He believed everything had a root cause, but now there was none to be found.
No root cause.
Lin Moyu murmured to himself. Suddenly his eyes lit up.
Just like the secret treasure the three ancestors wanted to visit, where memories were erased, also with no root cause. The secret treasure of the three ancestors had extraterrestrial gods, likely related to their power. Could it be that here is also because of extraterrestrial gods?
Lin Moyu speculated a possibility. He had fought with divine pets but had never fought with extraterrestrial gods. Perhaps they had some strange abilities. Remaining vigilant, Lin Moyu continued forward. He wasn't afraid. Instead, he felt a bit excited. If there were extraterrestrial gods here, he could kill them and receive a great Tao reward. The cracks grew larger, and the places to stand became smaller. After traveling 1,000,000 miles, Lin Moyu suddenly stopped. He had reached the end of the cracks, a steep cliff. In this 1,000,000 miles, he had experienced several gray winds and died several times. Rebirth revived him each time, and he finally arrived here unharmed. Thick fog lay below the cliff, obscuring the view, and the cliff's height was unknown.
At least it's not gray.
Seeing the fog wasn't gray, Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief. The journey had been tormenting enough with the gray wind. If the fog were gray, it would only add to the trouble. Suddenly, the ground began to shake, and Lin Moyu knew the gray wind was coming again. It had been some time since the last gray wind, and he had run over 200,000 miles during this time. Roar! A roar echoed in his ears, like a beast's howl, filled with madness and anger. Just hearing the roar, Lin Moyu imagined a trapped giant beast, roaring unwillingly. The ground shook violently, followed by a strong gray wind rushing from the cracks to the sky. Then it exploded in the sky, turning into countless gray dust falling down. Lin Moyu watched, knowing he was about to die again. He was used to dying, so it didn't bother him. Suddenly, the fog surged, and a large amount of white mist rushed to the sky. Lin Moyu felt a gust of wind pass, and all the gray dust within 10,000 miles was swept away.
These mists can swallow the gray dust.
Lin Moyu was slightly shocked, not expecting such a turn of events, and he didn't die this time. A skeleton general flew out, cautiously entering the fog, then emerged unharmed. After repeated attempts, Lin Moyu confirmed the fog was safe. He then left the ground, flew down the cliff, and entered the fog. Boom! Upon entering the fog, Lin Moyu suddenly heard a heartbeat-like sound.
Heartbeat.
A heartbeat sound came from the fog, and Lin Moyu immediately flew towards its direction. The heartbeat was at the bottom of the fog, and he kept flying downwards, unable to judge the distance due to the fog affecting his senses, until he flew out of the fog and saw a shocking scene. 2917 2917. Chapter 2917. To kill it, first deceive it. Below the mist was another boundless wasteland. The ground of the wasteland appeared semi-transparent, reflecting brilliant light.
The ground has crystallized.
Lin Moyu knew that this crystallized ground was incredibly solid. Though not a high-grade material, its hardness surpassed most materials. Moreover, he sensed a terrifying power within the crystallized ground, making it even more solid. Not far away stood a mountain that pierced into the clouds. Most of the mountain was shrouded in clouds, with about 10,000 meters visible from the clouds to the ground. Lin Moyu realized that the barren rocky ground he had traversed earlier was actually a mountain range, an enormous range spanning millions of miles wide. Such a massive mountain range was rare even on the origin continent. Furthermore, the entire range had no undulations, as if leveled by some powerful force. At the base of the range, Lin Moyu saw a giant beast. The beast was over 2,000 meters tall and more than 10,000 meters long. It resembled a massive rhinoceros, its body gleaming black. Behind it were 6 tails, each terrifyingly thick. The tails were trapped in the ground, their full length unknown. Its 4 hooves were also trapped in the crystal ground, unable to move. Its head faced the mountain range, less than 10 meters away, practically pressed against it. This terrifying beast was trapped here, unable to escape. The moment Lin Moyu saw the beast, he felt a deep sense of disgust from the depths of his soul. This disgust surpassed that for divine pets, no weaker than for extraterrestrial gods. It showed that the Great Tao's aversion to it was no less than for extraterrestrial gods.
Could it be an extraterrestrial god too?
Lin Moyu mused silently, unsure if extraterrestrial gods only had one form. However, it differed greatly from the extraterrestrial gods he had seen before. But he was certain that killing it would earn him a Great Tao reward. Lin Moyu craved the Great Tao reward, but he didn't act immediately. Though trapped, the beast before him wasn't completely immobile. At least its upper body could still move. Acting rashly could be dangerous. Moreover, he needed to figure out the source of the earlier gray wind and if it was related to this creature. Boom! The heartbeat sound rang out again. Lin Moyu sensed it coming from beneath the ground. Then he saw the base of the mountain range in front of the beast turning to crystal in rhythm with the heartbeats. Not only was the range crystallizing, it was also moving towards the beast. If the range moved onto the beast and fully crystallized, the beast would be trapped inside forever. With each heartbeat, the range inched closer to the beast very slowly, only about a centimeter per beat. The beast let out an angry roar, then thrust its entire body forward. Given its enormous size, a few meters was just a tiny tremor. The beast rammed the mountain range with the sharp horn on its head. Boom! The range shook violently, forcefully pushed back several centimeters, undoing the distance it had just moved. Moreover, the range in front of the beast seemed to grow slightly larger. During the impact, terrifying power burst from the beast's horn, turning into gray wind that swept through the entire range via the cracks. One collision forcefully pushed the range back to its original position. The previously crystallized areas also returned to normal. Lin Moyu finally understood the source of the gray wind. It came from this beast. He also learned the origin of the cracks. The cracks in the range were created by this beast's repeated collisions over countless years. That's why the cracks grew larger closer to the beast. The range was very solid. Even Tao sovereign level power could hardly damage it. But the beast could crack this million-mile-wide range through repeated collisions. Lin Moyu understood. This was a battle between the heart and the beast. This heart, the one the king of the Boundary Sea wanted him to retrieve, was trying to seal the beast. The beast was constantly resisting to avoid being completely sealed.
What on earth is this beast?
Lin Moyu stared at the beast, unsure of its origins. Suddenly, the beast turned its head to look at Lin Moyu.
Not good.
Lin Moyu's heart trembled as he immediately retreated. But he was a step too late. A gray light shot from the beast's horn, instantly passing through Lin Moyu's body. Lin Moyu had no chance to resist. He petrified on the spot, falling from the air onto the crystal ground and shattering to pieces. The beast turned its head back as if swatting a fly, not even bothering to look at Lin Moyu again. Purple light flashed as Lin Moyu revived. After reviving, Lin Moyu quickly retreated tens of thousands of miles to distance himself from the beast. This beast was too dangerous. Its attacks were unreasonable and impossible to defend against. The beast noticed Lin Moyu hadn't died and turned its head again. With its body trapped, it could only turn its head partway. As Lin Moyu retreated, he deliberately adjusted his angle to the beast's rear blind spot. The beast had eyes on both sides of its head. Now turned, it watched Lin Moyu with one eye but didn't attack again. Lin Moyu also watched the beast, showing no fear. Fear was useless and worry pointless. Now he needed to figure out how to kill this creature. Unlike the previously trapped and helpless extraterrestrial god, this one wouldn't be easy to kill. After staring at each other for a while, the beast turned its head back, seemingly too lazy to bother with an ant like Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu also stopped watching the beast and looked at the ground instead. After some searching, he saw a bright red heart in the semi-transparent crystal ground. The heart was enormous, clearly not belonging to any ordinary creature. It was beating weakly there, as if gathering strength. When it accumulated enough power, it would beat vigorously, crystallizing the range and moving it towards the beast. Moments later, the heartbeat sounded again. The heart burst with powerful energy, moving the range towards the beast. The beast also exerted full force, heavily ramming the range to push it back. Though pushed back, the beast seemed somewhat strained. Lin Moyu sensed its aura weakening slightly, but the beast recovered quickly, regaining strength in no time. The heart was similar, greatly weakened after beating vigorously but recovering shortly after. Lin Moyu observed this.
Perhaps when the beast charges the range is my opportunity. But it likely won't be so easy. This beast isn't stupid. If it senses I'm a threat, it will kill me first even if the range gets closer. To kill it, I must first deceive it.
2918 Chapter 2918. Let's see who outlasts whom. Lin Moyu waited for the next heartbeat to occur. This time, it seemed the heart had exhausted its power, taking nearly an hour to recover. By then, the beast had also mostly recovered, seemingly waiting for the heartbeat. As for Lin Moyu, it had already ignored him. In its eyes, Lin Moyu, a Tao sovereign of the first realm, was just an ant. Lin Moyu knew this and felt helpless. The beast's attack was utterly unreasonable.
The king of the boundary sea's suppression seems to have had no effect. Aside from restricting the entrance realm, nothing else seems to have changed.
Lin Moyu felt that the king of the boundary sea's suppression not only didn't help him, but even had a counterproductive effect. The beast's power seemed unaffected. Finally, the heart accumulated enough power, and the heartbeat sounded again. The mountain range began to crystallize and move towards the beast. The beast also released immense power, ramming into the mountain range.
Now's the time.
Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the undead legion appeared. 10 Dragon Knight captains appeared in midair, simultaneously ordering the Dragon Knights to form a battle formation and launch a bloody charge. The battle formation turned into a bloodline, shooting towards the beast. Skeleton generals appeared simultaneously, swinging their swords at the beast. Great Tao spell, Bone Blood Sword. The bloody bone Great Tao manifested, countless bones transforming into blood-colored swords, attacking as the skeleton generals swung their swords. The attack locked onto the beast, directly hitting it. The beast was enveloped in a bloody glow, its divine power fully unleashed. Simultaneously, the Dragon Knight Legion's battle formation struck the beast like an arrow. Lin Moyu timed it perfectly, just as the beast was ramming the mountain range. The beast roared in anger, blood gashes appearing on its tough hide. The wounds were shallow, merely surface injuries. Moreover, the wounds healed quickly, as if they had never existed. Immediately, it erupted with gray light, sweeping over the undead legion. The Dragon Knights were instantly petrified by the gray light, dying on the spot. The skeleton generals weren't spared either, many falling to the gray light. Only a few skeleton generals, positioned directly behind the beast, survived. Lin Moyu was also in this area, so he didn't die this time. Although the undead legion suffered heavy losses, Lin Moyu felt it was worth it. He smiled.
This is its attack blind spot. It seems my previous positioning was correct.
Originally, this wouldn't have been a blind spot, given the beast's 6 tails. The tails would have been powerful weapons, but now they were sealed by the crystal ground, losing their function. This blind spot became the beast's weakness.
The previous attack actually injured the horned beast. Although it was just a surface wound, it was indeed injured. Its defense is far inferior to the divine pet. This means the king of the boundary sea's suppression isn't entirely useless. While it didn't reduce its power, it suppressed its defense. Its defense isn't strong. If I exploit the blind spot, I can use the Calamity Scepter. But why do I feel it's not that simple?
Lin Moyu's eyes shifted slightly as he approached the horned beast's blind spot. When he was still a kilometer away, he stopped. At this moment, the horned beast turned its head, fixing one eye on Lin Moyu, as if warning him. Lin Moyu gave a provocative look, as if saying,
I'm in your blind spot. What can you do about it?
The horned beast's eye showed clear anger, but it still didn't attack. Lin Moyu didn't get closer, instead pointing lightly at the horned beast. Space distorted, revealing the bone hell, but its range was small, covering only 100 meters. Hellish fiends lunged out, biting the horned beast. The horned beast's defense wasn't strong, and the hellish fiends could eat anything. Each bite took a small piece of flesh from the horned beast. Although they were just surface wounds and the horned beast's recovery was astonishing, it was still unpleasant. The horned beast let out an angry roar, its 6 tails glowing gray. Lin Moyu's heart trembled, his intuition warning him. He quickly withdrew the bone hell and retreated rapidly. But he was a step too slow. The gray light came quickly, covering a 10,000-meter radius in a circular sweep. The bone hell was instantly petrified, and the hellish fiends weren't spared. Lin Moyu was also petrified mid-retreat, shattering upon hitting the ground. A flash of purple light, and rebirth activated, quickly reviving Lin Moyu. Just as he completed rebirth, the horned beast's tails emitted gray light again. Lin Moyu's expression changed drastically, retreating rapidly. He hadn't flown far when the light hit him again. Lin Moyu was petrified a second time, shattering upon hitting the ground. Rebirth activated again, and the revived Lin Moyu didn't hesitate, retreating once more. The undead wings were fully activated, propelling him 10,000 meters away in an instant. The gray light's range was 10,000 meters, the safe distance. The horned beast's tails continued flashing gray light, and his intuition warned him again.
Damn it!
Lin Moyu didn't hesitate, continuing to retreat. He had only flown 2,000 meters when the light hit him again. The gray light's range wasn't just 10,000 meters. Lin Moyu realized the horned beast had deceived him. Petrified for the 3rd time, Lin Moyu completed rebirth and retreated with all his might, stopping only after retreating 50,000 meters. Finally, the gray light ceased, and Lin Moyu knew he was truly out of the horned beast's attack range.
What a cunning creature!
Even though he was cautious, he was still deceived. The horned beast not only deceived him about the blind spot but also its attack range. Although its tails were sealed, they still had attack capabilities. The attack range wasn't just 10,000 meters, it was at least 20,000 meters. Fortunately, his talent was strong, allowing multiple rebirths. Otherwise, he'd be dead. The horned beast turned its head, glaring at Lin Moyu with one large eye, as if to say,
You still didn't die.
It was clearly surprised by Lin Moyu's multiple rebirths. After reaching the Dao Sovereign Realm, rebirth could be used 8 times consecutively, with a cooldown of 20 seconds. Having died 3 times just now was far from the limit of rebirth. However, Lin Moyu didn't want to test the limits of rebirth. It was best not to use it even once. He began to think, in this situation, it seemed difficult to deal with the beast. Without using power beyond the Dao Sovereign Third Realm, Relying on the skeleton generals for long-range attacks made killing it quite challenging. But it wasn't impossible. With enough numbers, it might be worn down. Lin Moyu snorted coldly.
In that case, let's see who outlasts whom.
A large number of skeleton generals appeared, maintaining a distance of over 50,000 meters from the horned beast, all positioned directly behind it. The horned beast had another attack method. Though its range was large, it couldn't attack behind. The tails could attack from behind, but there was a distance limit. So Lin Moyu used this to his advantage, using the skeleton generals for long-range attacks, aiming to wear it down. 2919 Chapter 2919 The Extraterrestrial God's Mount. The skeleton generals swung their swords repeatedly, using the Great Tao spell, Bone Blood Sword, continuously striking the horned beast. Numerous wounds appeared on the horned beast's body, but they were all superficial and healed extremely quickly. The horned beast let out angry roars. It was very angry, but seemed unable to do anything about the skeleton generals.
Let's see what's faster, my attacks or your recovery.
Although each of the million skeleton generals could only cause a little damage, added together, the damage was quite shocking. The horned beast's superficial wounds became increasingly severe, with fresh blood flowing out. Lin Moyu felt there was hope and prepared to summon more skeleton generals to continue the attack.
Young man, stop!
Suddenly a voice came, causing Lin Moyu's heart to beat violently twice, feeling uncomfortable. This voice wasn't transmitted into his soul, but into his heart. It affected his heart's beating rhythm in a strange way to produce sound. So when he heard the voice, his heart felt uncomfortable for an instant. Lin Moyu realized who was speaking to him. It was that heart. There was still consciousness inside that heart. At this moment, the heart beat rapidly again.
You can use your soul to transmit sound to the ground. I can hear it.
Lin Moyu immediately used his soul to transmit to the ground.
Senior, I was entrusted by the king of the Boundary Sea to take you out.
The heart said,
I know. Little Blackie has been trying to take me out for many years, but unfortunately he has never succeeded, and instead cost many lives.
Its voice carried some helplessness, full of sighs. Hearing the name,
Little Blackie.
Lin Moyu knew it referred to the king of the Boundary Sea. The ancestors called him Old Black, while the heart called him Little Black. Clearly the heart had a higher status. Lin Moyu said,
There should be a chance this time. As long as I can kill this guy, I can take you away.
The heart sighed again, the sigh making even Lin Moyu's heart uncomfortable.
Stop first. Attacking like this is not only useless, but will allow its power to recover.
Lin Moyu was stunned and immediately ordered the skeleton generals to stop. The horned beast's angry roars also stopped abruptly. It turned its head to stare at Lin Moyu, its eyes carrying a challenging look, as if mocking Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu saw cunning in its eyes. The horned beast seemed to want him to continue attacking. Just as the heart said, after Lin Moyu's round of attacks, this horned beast's aura had actually increased slightly. Although it only increased a little, it wasn't a good sign. It meant his attacks were not only ineffective, but being utilized. This horned beast was indeed difficult to deal with. Lin Moyu asked,
Senior, do you know this guy's specific identity?
With the heart's violent beating, Lin Moyu finally learned the horned beast's true identity. The horned beast was the mount of a powerful extraterrestrial god. Although it belonged to the divine pet category, it was far stronger than ordinary divine pets. Even some extraterrestrial gods weren't as powerful as it. Its ability was petrification, destroying everything from the most fundamental level, making it impossible to resist. Several Great Tao realm experts had been completely petrified by it before, ultimately losing their lives. The power of extraterrestrial gods was completely different from the Great Tao of the origin continent. Not only different, it could destroy the Great Tao of the origin continent. The heart's ability was to crystallize matter, which directly conflicted with the horned beast's petrification ability. The heart used its crystallization ability to trap the opponent, and the two had been in a stalemate for countless years until now. The heart beat rapidly.
I know little Blackie really wants me to return, but I can't go back now. Little one, you go back and tell little Blackie this news.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment and said,
But I still want to try and see if I can kill it. Moreover, I see the mountain range is about to be shattered. Continuing this stalemate isn't a solution either.
Under the horned beast's repeated impacts, the cracks in the mountain range were gradually expanding and would eventually collapse. Perhaps it would take tens of thousands of years. But tens of thousands of years wasn't a long time for beings like them. The heart said,
You can't even get close to it. How can you kill it?
Lin Moyu said,
To be honest, I've killed 1.5 divine pets before, and an extraterrestrial god, though that extraterrestrial god was in a state unable to resist. I have a treasure that can kill extraterrestrial gods. It should be able to kill this beast too. As you said, my biggest problem now is how to get close to it. As long as I can get close, I'm confident I can kill it.
The heart fell silent. After a moment, it beat again, transmitting a message.
Can you let me see your treasure?
Lin Moyu took out the calamity scepter, but the heart had no reaction. A full minute passed before the heart continued.
I can sense that this scepter is very powerful, unlike ordinary.
The heart's words showed it didn't recognize the calamity scepter. But with its knowledge, it could see the calamity scepter was extremely powerful. Lin Moyu wasn't lying. Perhaps there really was a chance to kill the extraterrestrial god. Especially now, the horned beast's defense had been restricted, reduced to an extremely low level. The key was how to get close to it. As long as they could get close, they could kill it. As Lin Moyu waited, the heart finally made a decision.
There might be a way to try, but it has some risk.
Then it explained the method. The heart would crystallize the mountain range as usual, trying to seal the horned beast. The horned beast would inevitably use its horns to ram the mountain range in resistance. Both sides would exert all their strength in each confrontation. Their powers were evenly matched, and they hadn't truly determined a winner for many years. This time, the heart planned to use its power to temporarily trap the horned beast when it rammed the mountain range. But the time would be very short, at most about 1 second. During this second, the horned beast would inevitably use all its strength to resist the heart, unable to divide its attention. This 1 second would be Lin Moyu's greatest opportunity. Lin Moyu could use the calamity scepter to launch a fatal strike against the horned beast. The attack point would be the horned beast's horn. The most dangerous place was often also the safest place. Although the horn was powerful, it would lose its effect when suppressed. Moreover, it would never expect Lin Moyu to attack its strongest point. Furthermore, it didn't take a Dao sovereign first realm like Lin Moyu seriously at all. Lin Moyu discussed the details with the heart and decided how to act. The heart continued accumulating power. As the heart accumulated power, the horned beast's power was also rapidly recovering. A moment later, the heart's power accumulated to the limit and began beating violently. Signs of crystallization appeared on the mountain range, moving towards the horned beast with a rumble. This time, the heart's power was very strong, and the mountain range moved faster than before. The horned beast also roared in anger, ramming towards the mountain range. However, before ramming the mountain range, it glanced at Lin Moyu inadvertently, its eyes full of mockery. In the instant before the impact occurred, Lin Moyu spread his undead wings, his soul power boiling frantically. 2,922,920. Chapter 29:20. Have you decided on your reward? At the moment the horn collided with the mountain range, Lin Moyu moved. He chose to trust the heart, so he went all out. He knew he was in great danger. If the heart failed, he would be extremely close to the horn. At that time, trying to escape would be incredibly difficult. Even with 8 chances of revival, it might not be enough. But now he had no choice. Lin Moyu had a feeling that he couldn't retreat. The aversion from the Great Tao was always present, and if he chose to retreat and give up this kill, he might face punishment from the Great Tao, which would be detrimental to his cultivation path. Lin Moyu seemed to feel the sensation that the strong person in the Golden Thunder felt when facing the extraterrestrial god. There was no choice but to advance, not retreat. Since retreat was not an option, he had to go all in and find a way to kill it. At the moment the horned beast collided with the mountain range, Lin Moyu chose to trust the heart and moved, approaching at the fastest speed. Boom! A violent collision occurred, and the horned beast suddenly realized something was wrong. This time the mountain range wasn't knocked back by it. Instead, a force surged from the mountain range, firmly grasping the horn, preventing it from retreating. At the same time, it sensed that the ant only at the Tao Sovereign First Realm was rushing over. Although the horned beast didn't take Lin Moyu seriously, it still felt something was wrong. The six tails glowed, not wanting to give Lin Moyu a chance to get close. Although the attack range of the tails was small, it covered the entire area, leaving no blind spots. Seeing the tails light up, Lin Moyu threw a great Tao Undying Pill into his mouth and summoned several skeleton generals to act as meat shields between him and the tails. He had anticipated this, but he had no choice but to act. Everything happened in less than half a second. The gray light suddenly brightened, and the skeleton generals were petrified. However, the gray light was slightly weakened after petrifying so many skeleton generals. Even though it was only slightly weakened, it was still enough to petrify Lin Moyu. The crystallized ground emitted a faint light, and a force fell on the horned beast's tails, affecting the petrifying gray light and further weakening it. But this weakening was still insignificant and not very useful. The skeleton generals summoned by Lin Moyu were all petrified after resisting for only 0.1 seconds. The gray light finally fell on Lin Moyu, and a peculiar force rose from him, the power of the Great Tao Undying Pill. The power of the Great Tao Undying Pill protected Lin Moyu, countering the petrifying gray light. This was Lin Moyu's first time truly witnessing the power of the Great Tao Undying Pill. He only knew that it could make him undying for 10 minutes. However, he also knew that the Great Tao Undying Pill's power was limited, and against the petrifying gray light that could destroy the Great Tao, it might not be effective. Indeed, now that the Great Tao Undying Pill was facing the petrifying gray light, its effect was rapidly diminishing. Not to mention 10 minutes, even lasting 10 seconds was challenging. 10 seconds was more than enough to achieve his goal. The previous meat shields were far less effective than the Great Tao Undying Pill directly. Under the protection of the Great Tao Undying Pill, Lin Moyu reached the top of the horned beast's head in half a second. At this time, the horn of the horned beast was still firmly grasped by the mountain range, unable to break free. Lin Moyu raised the Calamity Scepter and smashed it down on the horn of the horned beast. At the moment he smashed down, the horn of the horned beast suddenly glowed with gray light, breaking free from the mountain range. The same petrifying gray light, the horn's power was much stronger than the tail's, and the Great Tao Undying Pill couldn't hold up.
Die.
Lin Moyu gritted his teeth, continuing to swing the Calamity Scepter down. At this moment he could only move forward, not retreat. Moving forward still had a chance to counterattack, retreating meant certain death. As the Calamity Scepter struck the horn, the gray light from the horn shot out, landing on the Calamity Scepter. Lin Moyu saw mockery in the eyes of the horned beast, as if mocking his overconfidence. Perhaps in its view, both the Calamity Scepter and Lin Moyu would be petrified, with no escape. But in the next instant, the mockery in its eyes turned to shock, then pain. The petrifying gray light was shattered by the Calamity Scepter, which then smashed onto the horn. Countless cracks appeared on the horn, and it shattered with a loud explosion. The horn, no matter how sturdy, was smashed to pieces by the Calamity Scepter. The horned beast let out a soul-wrenching scream, a pain no one could understand. Its whole body trembled, its facial expression extremely exaggerated, its eyes bulging almost out of its head, indescribably painful. Lin Moyu wouldn't give it another chance. The second strike of the Calamity Scepter followed, heavily smashing onto the bull's head. Bang! Lin Moyu heard the sound of bones breaking, followed by a spurt of blood as the horned beast's head exploded on the spot. However, it wasn't dead yet. Lin Moyu could still sense the immense vitality of the horned beast. Most importantly, the aversion from the Great Tao hadn't dissipated. The Great Tao doesn't make mistakes. As long as the horned beast isn't dead, Lin Moyu can't stop. The extraterrestrial gods have a common trait. Their recovery ability is astonishing. As long as they aren't dead, no matter how severe the injury, they recover quickly. Lin Moyu swung the Calamity Scepter wildly, striking thousands of times per second, smashing the horned beast, which was over 10,000 meters in size, into pieces. Previously, it was him who shattered after being petrified. Now it was reversed, and he smashed the horned beast into pieces. Lin Moyu's whole body glowed with golden flames, the undying golden body shining brightly. The horned beast's blood couldn't touch him at all. Finally, until the horned beast was smashed to pieces, the aversion from the Great Tao still existed.
Not dead yet.
Lin Moyu glanced around, knowing what was going on. The remaining parts of the horned beast's body were only the 4 hooves and 6 tails in the crystallized ground. As long as the body remained, the horned beast wasn't truly dead. Lin Moyu transmitted to the heart.
Senior, please release the sealed parts so I can smash them.
The heart cooperated immediately, and as the ground shook, the sealed parts emerged from beneath the ground. Lin Moyu smashed them all without hesitation. This situation was like a game of whack-a-mole. When all the horned beast's body parts were smashed, the aversion from the Great Tao finally dissipated completely.
Dead?
Lin Moyu exhaled a long breath, put away the Calamity Scepter, and transmitted to the ground.
Senior, it's dead. I know.
A voice sounded, the ground shook and cracked, and a heart hidden deep below slowly flew out. Only at this moment did Lin Moyu realize how enormous this heart was. Previously hidden in the crystallized ground, his vision was affected. This heart was round, with a diameter of 10,000 meters. Just the heart was 10,000 meters in size. Unimaginable how vast the owner of the heart once was. The heart's voice sounded directly.
Little one, thank you.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
Senior, have you decided on a reward?
2,921, 2,921.